Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm going to go ahead and start the podcast about 5 minutes early, just waiting for the guys to come in. Welcome to another Basement Radio Arcade podcast. Oh, yeah, it's Wednesday night. It's the Macho Man. What are you doing here, Macho? Yeah, hey. What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday to you guys. It is Happy Hump Day. It's the middle of the week. Another brap. Interesting day, I should say. A lot of stuff. Oh, wow. A lot of stuff in the news today. If you're into politics and whatnot, outside of uh, gaming related topics, a lot of stuff going on in the nation's capital, my home. I live right outside Washington D.C. So yeah, uh, Bob Mueller came out to Capitol Hill to testify to the Senate committees of Intelligence and Senate Judiciary Committee. And yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to say too much. Don't try to get too political on the show, but it's interesting. We're definitely living in some interesting times. I can tell you that, in my opinion, I think whether you agree with me or not, I think this president has been very decisive, or not decisive. That's the wrong word. Divisive. Ah, I said decisive. That's not what I meant, guys. I meant divisive. Yeah, he's been a little divisive. I'm going back. Yeah, remember I'm old, so I'm going back to the years of Jimmy Carter, President Reagan, George Bush the first, President Clinton, George Bush the second, and Barack Obama. So I have lived so far through what's that? One, two, three, four, five, six presidents. This being my seventh. And I can tell you guys that the rhetoric that this president spills out is not rhetoric that I've heard before um, with the same level of intensity. This shit is like to the 10th degree. And I only bring it up because it's food for thought. I mean, some of you guys who did grow up maybe watching Ronald Reagan speak, Ronald Reagan was a pretty good politician, I might add. Spoke well. I would say that go back and look at some of his things. Go back and look at some of his policies in terms of immigration, foreign affairs, and the role of the U.S. in the world. I mean, yeah, definitely interesting times. I mean, we're certainly living in interesting times. Maybe those things are starting to spill over to gaming a little bit as we think about. I've said this. I think identity politics has kind of crept into gaming, which I guess that was bound to happen. I think as gaming has gotten bigger, it's funny. I was reading a post somewhere where in a YouTube podcast in one of the comments in the comment section, and somebody said, I'm tired of having politics in my gaming or people's social agendas thrown at me. It's everywhere I look. I don't want it in my gaming, and perhaps gaming is getting to the point where it's so big now. I mean, think about this. Gaming is so influential; it mimics, mirrors what we see in society. No different than music or other forms of entertainment. And it's probably bound to have people question or dissect certain things in games, as people do in movies, literature, and music. So I just think that there's probably more of a focal point now as gaming kind of blurs the lines between reality and fiction. So I don't know, just food for thought, guys. I'm not, just sharing my opinions, my thoughts on things that I've seen more recently out there. All right, guys, give me just a sec here. Tweet some information out. Let everyone know that Brap is live. Oh shit, don't want to do that. All right, guys, give me just a sec here. What is going on, indie gamer? Eternal Shaddai, Shirazad Khan City, Annihilator 83. No, Annihilator, I will be joined shortly by my weekly panel. They are just running late, but they'll be here soon. I actually started early. We typically start about 5 after 9 or 10 after 9, but the guys will be slowly coming in. So Shirazad Khan says Disney will push agendas here too. Really? I mean, what agenda are they pushing? I, and I hear people say stuff like this, and what agenda is Disney trying to push on us? I mean, I don't get it. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. Panels wasted, yeah. We're going to talk about this. What's up, Graphic God? We're going to talk about this tonight, but Shirzad, specifically, what is Disney trying to push? What is the agenda here? It's funny. I saw Graphic God. What's going on, my man? Annihilator says I miss our cartoons. I miss our cartoons too. Disney is great, but Disney's also grown up from the Disney that I knew, at least. They Disney. The brilliance behind Disney is that they got us when we were younger, and they're going to keep us while we're older. That's the brilliance of Disney, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of outrage over Natalie Portman, a female Thor, and it's funny. Like I saw people tweet out, "Oh, Disney's trying to push their agenda on us by female inclusion by making Thor female," and I'm like, have you guys read the comic books? I mean, this is actually canon here. I mean, this is to the T. If you don't know this, Natalie Portman's character in Thor actually ends up becoming Thor. So I don't understand, Shirzad. I don't agree with you. I don't. This is part of Marvel canon anyway. There's been female Thors. That's not new. People were lunching about this. I don't know why. People are very upset. What's yes canon that no one liked or bought? It doesn't matter if no one liked or bought it. That's irrelevant. If you don't like it, you don't have to go see it. I mean, that's the bottom line. Shirzad, if you don't like Natalie Portman, if you don't like a female Thor, don't go see it. But I can tell you what, a lot of people are going to go see it. A lot of people are going to go see this. There's fans of look. I don't know how well the female Thor comic book sold. Um, but they're not deviating. They're not doing anything that the comic books haven't done. And even if they did, who cares? It's a creative choice. I mean, why is it such a big thing if a female's a superhero? I mean, it's interesting. I feel like I feel like in this country, in the United States of America, we're like one of the, and I just get this from talking to people, and I could be wrong, but in talking to people in Europe, at least, I've have friends that work for some larger managing consulting firms out in Spain and England and France, people that I've kept in touch with, college buddies, and they say that it's interesting, like that there's a little bit of culture shock for them, at least when they got to Europe. And he says I'm in the UK, and maybe India, you could maybe speak to this, but I don't know. It feels like at least in the US, we place so much emphasis. Um, there's so much emphasis on um, the person's ethnicity, race, gender. I mean, we focus so much on that here in the U.S. My understanding is at least in Europe that's not the case. So anyhow, I just find that interesting. Yeah, Shazad, I sorry, buddy. I don't agree with you. They're not destroying any stories. They're not pushing any narrative. This is all part of like Shazad. Are you like? Let me ask you something. Are you as a male? Are you triggered by a female being a strong figure? Are you like upset that a female can be Thor? I mean, I don't understand this. Like, I mean, like, what is it like? Help me understand this, the psychological aspect of this. Why you have this emotional attachment to this male Thor? I mean, I don't get it. I'm baffled by this. I think it's what I think it's ridiculous. I think it's to get upset over a female Thor, especially the fact that this particular character is canon and has been when Thor died in the comics, she picked up the hammer. The hammer chose her. I don't understand why it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, what's up, E Money?
What's up, man?
Man, I'm just, I'm going over this whole thing. First of all, E, welcome to the show, my man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you turn up your volume a little bit, man? Maybe speak in the mic a little bit more.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm a little bit far back from the mic. My apologies. How's that?
Turn me up.
How's that?
A little bit louder.
Oh, I'll be yelling in a minute.
Yeah.
I have the mic right in front of me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's interesting, man. I think first of all, E, I thought Marvel's Marvel at Comic Con was just amazing. I thought with a lot of the movie announcements, with Blade. I mean, how great that, dude? How cool is that Blade's coming back?
Oh yeah, that was like a number one announcement for me. I'm a huge Blade fan. So yeah, and I think that was a good casting. I like that casting.
Yeah, and actually, I like the actor. I mean, I mean, maybe the closest thing to Wesley Snipes, I guess. Maybe
Yeah.
Um, he's a hell of an actor, by the way. If you haven't seen him, he was actually in Luke Cage.
Yeah. 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 He played Cottonmouth.
Yeah, Cottonmouth. Yeah, I mean, he's actually a pretty good damn actor, and and we finally get the announcement of another Doctor Strange, which I mean I think is long overdue. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Kind of like what they had to say about that. It's going to have something of like their first kind of
like
horror
multiverse
spin. Yeah, it's like but more of like a little bit of a horror spin to it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
And what else was there? The Eternals, which I think is awesome, by the way. If you guys don't know who the Eternals are, I mean, wow. The Eternals, I think I think I actually read like one of their comics from the 70s. I think I used to have them. Because I think they came out in 1970 something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, and then I just get to the whole Thor thing. Natalie Portman, her character becomes Thor, which I mean I don't get it. I don't understand why people are upset about this, about a female Thor. I mean I saw things like people saying, "Oh, it's Disney trying to push their agenda on us." They're trying to push a female.
What's the agenda?
I don't get it. I don't understand. The funny thing is her character actually in the comics, when Thor dies, becomes Thor. The hammer chooses her. Like this isn't like anything
Right,
out of canon per se.
Yeah, so I mean, so by that extent, there shouldn't be female Green Lanterns, which there are, because the
There
ring
should not be
chooses
female
them.
Green
It's
Lanterns.
whoever's worthy. So we're saying women can't be worthy. Only
Okay,
those with a dick and penis, or
so
penis
here's the thing.
involved.
Shazad City saying it's forced, dude. How's it fucking forced, dude? It's not feminism and social justice warrior trash. The fucking
Hey,
character was in the comic books.
I see. I mean, people throw the feminism thing around. I mean, do you want to
Dude,
be called?
you know why they
Do you
throw
want
it
to be
around?
called chauvinistic?
They throw it around because they're probably chauvinistic. I'm not saying you are, Shirzad, but I'm saying I know some dudes out there that are chauvinists that are throwing that feminism thing out there, and it's like, and they forget the fact that this character actually
Hey,
was Thor in the damn comics.
hey, you can try to dog women all you want, but everybody got hit through a woman.
Yeah, like I don't understand
Shit
this.
that
Like,
men can't do.
what's this hate on women? All this, like I will never understand the idea of hating on women. that women can't be something because like, oh, you know what's funny? If there was a woman like character, right, a comic book character, and all of a sudden, like let's say Catwoman became Catman, nobody would dudes wouldn't say shit about it. They'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Might clown it a little bit, but
Oh shit!
what's up, Forte?
What's up, Forte?
What's up,
Catman.
Catman? Becomes Catwoman.
But this whole like, what the fuck? I mean, like, where the fuck does this conspiracy theory come from?
Oh man.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess Shazad, but I'm not trying to pick on you, bro. But I've seen
Man,
this
let
a
that
lot
man
on social
live.
media. SWA trash? No, they played it by the book. This is based off the comics.
Oh well, yeah, it
The
is.
Z Black Rider says insecure with their tiny wee wees. Hey, dude, that's what I think it is.
So
I think you're intimidated by women. I honestly, I do not. I would never understand why a man would ever put down a female, or I don't know, man. I don't know.
all
I
right,
don't get it.
so let me
Go
get
ahead,
my.
Forte. You want to
Okay,
rant?
so,
Go ahead, man.
no, I don't want to
Go ahead.
rant.
Go ahead, spit
I-
them bars, Forte.
No. All right, so I'm good with the character because the character is actually a thing in the comics and stuff.
Right.
And I think some people just don't know how to put their thoughts out there. Is it that they're upset that the character is a thing, or are they upset at the person that's playing the character? Because for me, I'm a little upset that the person, like, not saying Natalie Portman is a bad actress or anything, because she's not. She's gotten a lot better since Star Wars. We can all say that 100%.
You'll try. Anakin,
Yeah.
you're breaking my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah, right. She got a lot better since that. My problem is they're using an existing character to bring that character to life,
Right.
and it basically tells me that she couldn't stand as a character by herself. So they had to give her this mantle to be able to be even more of a character than she was before. That's my only problem with it. Other than that, they
But
could have
slow
picked
in the comic books, her character actually does become Thor.
Yeah, but okay. Does Marvel actually like kind of follow the narrative of the book completely? I mean,
Yeah,
shit.
you know, this is
Because-
canon.
Before is right, because like a lot of times you have the comics chasing what Marvel Studios is doing.
I mean, if I remember
No,
correctly,
this is
Silver Surfer
based-
was if I remember, because Silver Surfer was the one that fell through the window in Endgame, and they used Hulk instead. So there's different ways they can do it. I just felt like her character. They basically are taking a character that wasn't as strong. Like, some people didn't like Dark Worlds. I thought it was pretty okay. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't Ragnarok or anything, but they're taking a character that was kind of the weakest of the Thor franchise, and they're giving her this mantle that some people don't feel like she deserves because of just how the character development for that one character is. So I just feel like she wasn't a strong enough character to be put on this mantle for me.
Per canon, though, this is in
the
comic
Marvel
books.
threw the canon away a long time ago with a lot of these different characters.
No,
though.
but with this movie though, her becoming Thor in the comics,
okay,
her character when Thor dies, she picks up the hammer. The hammer chooses her. So her character actually does become the female Thor in the comics,
and Bucky becomes Captain America before Falcon does.
But what I'm saying,
but the opposite. But they went in another direction. In a different direction. That's my thing with Marvel. I would agree if they was 100% by the script when they came to how they wanted to portray these different characters in the different ways that they wanted to show it on screen to the comics. I will be 100% with you. I can understand that. Me personally, as they deviated so much from the script, I kind of expect the unexpected from them. And when it came to this, I felt like her character wasn't strong enough. Now, if her character down the line became something like this, I can understand that.
Her character is Thor in the comic books.
Okay, does that and
no, but I still get what Forte is saying though. Is like in the but there's a lot of things that happen in the comic books that Marvel Studios had rewritten into their own canon.
I get that, but they try to give it. You know, they try like this time they stay stuck to canon. You know,
well, I'm not. But see, I'm not against you for the character herself. I think people are idiots if they feel like a female Thor is a bad thing, because that is the comics. Like I said, my whole problem with it is they took a character that I felt was a weak character in a whole scheme of what they were doing in Thor, and they're giving her a mantle right now that I feel like she does not deserve. Because
but she already got it though. She's had it.
Okay, never mind. Okay, you're not understanding. Okay,
No,
listen.
I mean I get what
I'll
you're saying.
one more
saying,
time.
Like,
If her character, okay, if her character went through this incredible superhero arc where we see this build up to her becoming this, I'm with you. But they basically said, what's the last thing we've seen of her character in Thor? What's the last thing we know? What's the last thing that happened?
I see what you're saying. Like, they didn't do a good job building her up.
And that's my whole problem. I can go off of is what you portrayed on screen. And now you're telling me that she's the next female Thor.
But why don't we wait and see how they do that?
Well, I will say this. They have earned my attention and respect.
They definitely did that.
Right? But I get it. I completely get what Forte's saying. We have not seen hide nor hair of her. I mean, she came back in Endgame. But other than that,
it's just like
Captain. Not like they really,
It's just like Captain Marvel. Some people feel like Captain Marvel didn't need to be in Endgame because they felt like her character. First of all, they felt like
they kind of rushed her,
and that's the whole thing. Like she should have been introduced a lot earlier.
Movie, though, Forte, did you feel like, oh my god, I can't watch this? They rushed her. This is crazy. Listen, none of this. Why I spend $15? I'm taking my popcorn with me. I'm out of here.
Well, we also know that Marvel scaled back her screen time too. That's actually been something that's known. She had an actual bigger part of Endgame, but because of the backlash that people had from that, they actually scaled her character back a lot in Endgame because she was supposed to be into it a lot. And that was the whole reason that it felt like it was rushed. Like for me, I don't have a problem with Captain America being the character she is in the game, because I mean, she's basically that do a thing that nobody else could do. She can go get Tony Stark from outer space. She can destroy a ship by herself. She did the big things that nobody else could do at the time. So it was kind of in the plot point, but she still was added to a situation that a lot of people felt like she really didn't deserve to be in, because we just found out about her. I mean, we knew more about Black Panther than we knew about Captain Marvel, and this got happened in the last year.
Did that take away from your enjoyment of Captain Marvel?
It all depends. Oh no, because but when I watched Captain Marvel, it felt out of place. I don't look at a movie like I look at a movie for what a movie is. But when a movie was over and you look at it at the whole grand scheme of what they put out there on screen and in the timeline, it felt out of place. That's the one thing everybody will say when it comes to Captain Marvel. It felt out of place. It wasn't nothing wrong with the movie. The movie should have just happened way earlier. It should have been something that was probably introduced like around Civil War, where we can actually grow with this character and the inventions and stuff, compared to throwing it all at us in less than a calendar year.
But let me ask you something, and this is my thing. Like I hear this argument a lot. For me, as a comic book fan, I don't need to grow with these characters because I already know them.
But this is what you're thinking. You're thinking in comic book form. We're thinking about multi-million-dollar movies that they literally built this over an 11-year period. These characters, the reason we love Iron Man isn't because of the comics. We love Iron Man because it's Tony Stark, and we grew up. People grew up with that character on the silver screen, and they saw exactly what they were doing. We love Captain America for the same reasons, and we love all the rest of the characters in that franchise because of the main reasons. That's the reason people were pissed off that Hulk didn't get his revenge against Thanos, because they kind of sidelined him in Endgame. That was like one of the biggest plot points. People grew up with Hulk through all of the first two movies, and then everything in the Avengers. So when they didn't get what they want, that payoff wasn't there for some people in that. So that's why when it comes to the comic book, I kind of have a completely different thought process when it comes to these movies, because they developed a character arc for every character. That's why, spoilers, at the very end of Endgame, when those credits were rolling, they showed the silhouette of each main Avenger at the very end of it. And that was probably one of the most impactful things I've ever seen in a movie, because it kind of gave me closure to each character, and they kind of paid homage to each of those characters in their own little way by saying these were the original ones, and these are the ones you grew up with over the course of a 10-year period. And now that you're adding new people to the fray, and you're not kind of getting that same character development, it kind of throws things off. That's why I'm feeling like Captain Marvel was okay. I didn't have a problem with her in Endgame because I felt like she had a purpose in Endgame, but I wish they would have gave her a little bit more development in course to getting to that point. And now they're doing the same thing with Thor, with Mrs. Thor, and I feel like we're going from 50 to 110 real quick, but we don't even know how this is happening. And you might be right. The movie will come out. We'll probably find out how this is happening. But why do we have to have this all happen in one movie? Why does this have to? I mean, Iron Man didn't become Iron Man over the course of one movie. We kind of built up who Tony Stark was over 3 movies.
Well, because they were the foundation to the Avengers and
yeah.
But no, but like what Forte's saying is right though. I mean, you have people like the way we grew up on the comics. You know,
I disagree
with our old asses. You know, it's like you have people that grew up on Marvel Studios movies who really don't have that point of reference from the comic books at all. Like you take my nephew for example. Like he'll come to me with something as if he's bringing me the news, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it was with this and this and that. And he just looks at me, like cross-eyed because he's like, oh, you're talking about the old comic book stuff. I'm talking about like this. And I'm like, well, it still comes from that, but you know. So you have people that have 2 different points of argument.
Yeah, some people don't even know the real reason why Thanos wanted all the Infinity Stones to snap people from existence. They think the Marvel Studio way is the reason that is doing, because he wanted to cleanse the world and bring you know, end suffering. And people really believe that, but because he had a love interest, but they didn't even talk about the love interest.
Was it Lady Death or something?
It was Lady Death.
Yeah. No, so, you're right. I mean, but let me. What would have resonated better, Lady Death or like him wanting to wipe out the universe?
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, so you're saying what resonates better, but let me ask you this: just like you said that, what resonates better? A better character development of a character that you knew nothing about, and them building that character to be who they are, versus just throwing that character in your face.
I think it depends, man. I think it depends on how they do it. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say one way or the other that they did it bad or they did it good, because I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean,
is this movie going to be a 3-hour movie?
We can speculate. I mean, I see what you're saying though. Like there's no character build up to the movie. I get that. Like we know who she is, but other than that, we haven't seen her really. She's kind of like been MIA.
I mean, even Pepper Potts Pepper Potts even kind of got some type of arc before she became Rescue. I mean, we've seen her in a suit before.
Come on, who doesn't want to see Pepper Potts though?
But that's what I'm saying. But at least when it wasn't out of the ordinary to see her in a suit, because we've seen it before.
Yeah,
and that's
Here's
the whole
my thing. Though, Forte. I think everyone's going to be talking about, it's bad character development, and we're going to be sitting front and center. It's going to be $1 billion movie eating popcorn.
Oh, it's going to definitely.
We're going to be like, oh, this is so good.
Was $1 billion. I mean, Captain Marvel was $1 billion. I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with the character for herself. Like I said, my whole thing is I don't know what people are really arguing. I don't know if they're arguing, is it the fact that they just don't like the character being a female being the thing in the comics? Because that was always a thing. She was always there. It was going to happen regardless. Or do they just not know how to express themselves and say, man, I don't know about freaking Natalie Portman being
I'll say this. I don't know about Natalie Portman as she's holding that hammer on the Comic-Con.
It looked weird.
That thing looked. The fact that she's so tiny, man.
Yeah, that was the thing. It threw me for a loop.
I was like, I don't. Maybe she's not the best character. But let me ask you something, Forte. So Stu Jersey X says Spider-Man got no backstory, but nobody said anything.
But Spider-Man Spider-Man does have backstory. It's been redone 6 times already.
But what they're saying is in the MCU as we know it today, he didn't have a back. He showed up. So
are we really going to say that Spider-Man and Civil War was the first time anybody seen Spider-Man?
But in that
But there was a
But
there
in that
was
MC,
a
but in that universe, that what he's saying is basically like, look, in the timeline of things, and what we're talking about.
okay.
There
What
was no
about
mention
Hulk?
of
Then
Spider-Man.
what about Hulk? Hulk wasn't
Yeah,
the Hulk
was,
movies wasn't part of the MCU
no, it
timeline.
wasn't. No, it was before that. It was all
It
before
was way
MCU.
before that. I mean,
Yeah.
take them or leave them. Both those movies were they were what they were. But that was where that's where the origin story came from. So
they
people
retroactively worked that in.
They retroactively worked it in, and that was the same thing from Spider-Man.
But couldn't they retroactively work that in with Thor, the female Thor?
How? We haven't seen the female Thor on screen.
No, but I'm saying, like,
we've
could they do
seen
that
Spider-Man
on
screen. When?
In the movie.
Okay, so.
Okay. It's like so Stu says, like, so, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, by the way.
No, I know you are. You're doing a good job.
Because I want to get the because there's a lot of good conversation, by the way, in the live chat. So Stu says in the MCU he just showed up. He's like, how do you get these powers in the MCU?
Who are we talking about?
Spider-Man.
Because now we're talking. We're splitting hairs here. We're talking semantics here. We all know who Spider-Man is. We know who's. If you were talking about Spider-Man, if we're talking about Spider-Man in the comics and never seen him on screen, then I would be 100% with you. But the fact that we have source material going all the way back to Tobey Maguire playing him, and we've seen him get bit by a spider. We've seen him in the raggedy tag suit when he was going against what's his name in the ring up into Uncle what's that getting killed and everything. We know the backstory of Spider-Man because we've seen it on screen. We know the backstory on Hulk because we've seen it on screen. Now, if we never seen that stuff on screen, I will be 100% with you because the comics. A lot of people didn't see the comics, but the fact that there is a way of seeing these actual, this actual arc for all these characters in the not too distant past future or past future past, you really can't use that as the excuse because they're there. We've seen it on the screen. We haven't seen Lady Thor on the screen. And that's the whole thing. We always wonder, like, how is Marvel going to portray different things on the screen? We all knew, like, all of us knew how Endgame was going to end. We knew the snap was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. How was it going to happen?
Forte, you need to go to the live chat, man. That's
let me look at the.
Stu's asked you. Spider-Man has no backstory in MCU.
Spider-Man has look, okay, you know, all right, put it like this. Spider-Man has no backstory in MCU. You are absolutely right. But guess what? Spider-Man has backstory in movies. We've seen it in a movie.
But not the MCU.
Does it? Okay. All right, so we haven't seen it in so
I'm just
okay, so what do you let me ask you this. You playing devil's advocate here. Where do you fall on that? Enrique.
Look, man, I'm just excited.
No. Just answer the question. Answer the question. Where do you fall on that? So, do you think the fact that we haven't seen him in the MCU overrides the fact that he had movies out before? Do you think that he actually has a backstory that people actually should know about? Because they showed what has it been rebooted three times?
Like I would have liked to see his backstory because this is like a different Spider-Man per se. You know.
What's different about it? The fact that they actually got a person that's that looks like a teenager, and Aunt May looks like
because he's tied into the MCU. This is like a better Spider-Man. You know,
he wasn't tied into the MCU first. He got into the MCU. They made a movie first, then put him in the MCU. I get that.
There's been really, and it's not just Tobey Maguire. There was that other guy. Forget his name.
Andrew. What's his name? I forget his name. Goldfarb. Yeah. Shout out to Facebook.
Yeah, what's up, B man? Hey, B, what do you think about this whole Natalie Portman being Thor, man?
I mean, I don't got no big deal with it. It's Disney, you know what I mean? They gonna kind of do what they want to do.
Like, okay, I don't want to hear that.
You feel like
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, but like, you know what I mean? Even when they introduced Captain Marvel, like everybody was like shocked that it was a female. You know what I mean? If you go back to the comics, the original Captain Marvel was a male. You know what I mean? So many people were expecting a male character, and then they come out with the female Captain Marvel. So, you know what I mean? It's all
there
about
was a female Captain Marvel.
Well, they jumped the arc, basically.
Right?
They jumped.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what I mean? There's been female Captain or female Thors too in comics. You know what I mean? So it's no big deal that they introduced it to the MCU.
No, and I agree with that. When it comes to the character herself, there isn't a big deal. Like I said, my whole problem is character arc has been something that Marvel has done a great job at introducing over the course of the last 10 years. With the exception of Spider-Man, because people for some reason don't think Spider-Man has a backstory because he's in the MCU now, when there was freaking 5 movies out with nothing but backstory on them. And same thing with Incredible Hulk. But I guess you guys will win that argument. But the fact of the matter is, Thor, it's going to happen. I just wish they would have built up to that, just like I felt like Captain Marvel was a movie that could have probably had either a second movie or at least came out so early in the timeline where they actually could build on that character over the course of like the second half of Phase 4. And I think I think people wouldn't have as big of a problem with it as they had. Now, people that had a problem with it being a female character, it's Marvel, man. They could do whatever the hell they want. Disney, if they wanted to put Snoopy in a suit, they could. It don't matter. I don't think they own the Charlie Brown.
I'll tell you what, man. I hope the next James Bond is female. I can't wait till see.
Oh, that would be amazing. Is there any precedence?
I thought the next James Bond was a female.
I did too.
There's rumors that it's gonna be a female, but I want to see dudes lose their mind over that. I'm telling you.
What would her name be? Janet Bond?
No, Jamie Bond.
Jamie? Oh Lord. Denise Bond.
Denise Bond.
Did it have a bunch of hot Bond guys?
Yeah, I guess so.
You could be in that movie.
Nah, they couldn't pay me enough.
Who would we want to see as the female Bond though?
I could be a Wolverine.
I thought they already cast it already.
I know, that's a good question. Who would be
Black Rider says Jane Bond. There you go.
Jane Bond? Oh Lord, G.I. Jane.
They call me Jane Bond.
Jane Bond Jr.
Yeah, Jane Bond. Yeah, but anyhow.
That was a good conversation.
I don't know. I tell you what though. I think my favorite announcement out of Comic-Con was probably Blade though. I don't know. I love Blade. So
people were more heard about Blade than anything because
I just love that they announced Marshall Ali as playing Blade.
Same.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
He's an amazing actor. He's
now this is supposed to be a reboot, right?
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, B, he was, he played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Yeah, he did.
So, and I thought he was wonderful. I think he's a great actor.
He is, man. I love that guy. Just about everything that he's been in, I've loved every role that he played. He's got a lot of range. You know what I mean? He can play different roles. So I'm pretty excited. I think he looks perfect to play the role, and I think he'll bring a different element to Blade. So I'm super excited about that.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Any thoughts, E Money?
No, just on the initial point, like women can do things, man. So let women live. I don't know why people have such a problem with like female leads and characters. It's like, I feel like sometimes we go backwards.
It's SJW, man. I tell you, it's people don't want. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'll never get it.
I mean, maybe it's because I was raised by a single mother and who had strong sisters, and I've spent a lot of my life around strong women. I never see a problem with a woman taking the lead or something.
Yeah, see, that's my same situation too. So like when I see stuff like this, like it doesn't bother me. Like I think it's super dope. You know what I mean? Especially having a daughter. You know what I mean? It's
same here.
Cool to be able to show her these type of examples and say like one day that could be you. You know what I mean? You it doesn't matter if there's never been a female Thor on screen. You know what I mean? Now that they're doing it, that's that's super exciting.
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's going on, Slow-Mo?
Let me say a couple things on the topic.
Go ahead.
One, I will say I'm all for a female Bond, female Thor. For one, female Thor is in the comics, so that's canon. There's nothing wrong with that. My only, I guess, misgiving, that's not the right word. My only, I guess, drawback with Lashana Lynch is that I haven't really seen too much of her. So I don't know if she can handle the role quite yet as far as her acting ability. I would have much rather, if we wanted a British black woman, I would have wanted Gugu Mbatha. First of all, she's fine as hell. But
Mm-hmm.
I've seen her. She can act her butt off, and she would have been a great Bond.
Yeah.
But I mean, if
Good choice,
she,
man.
yeah, if Lashana knocked it out, I'm willing to give her the opportunity to show that she can do it. It's just for me, it's just like I would say that for anyone in the role that I've only seen Lashana in Captain Marvel, so it's like I haven't seen you in anything yet to really know if you're good or not. Like now, contrast that with Marshall Ali. He's an amazing actor. He can act
Yes.
rings
Yes.
around Wesley Snipes. Only thing is, like, I've never seen him in an action movie, so it's like, can you
Well,
do this?
And like, isn't Wesley Snipes like a black belt in real life too?
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
So I'm
Yeah,
saying
he
like
is.
his combat skills. Like, I wonder, like, you know,
But Wesley's old, man. I understand why they didn't do Wesley because he's
like, how old is Wesley Snipes?
Well, they
Wesley's
just-
over 50.
Well, they
Yeah.
said they couldn't come to terms with him too, so that
Oh,
was part
that's probably. Well, Wesley's got a lot of debt.
a lot of it.
Yeah, so he's probably asking for way more money than they were willing to give up for him.
Yeah.
And his star has kind of faded, whereas Marshall Ali he's on the rise. In Hollywood, he's like one of probably the top 3 male black actors that these Hollywood types are looking for. So, like I said, my only misgiving with him is that I've never seen him in an action movie. So can he really, like, it's not as easy as it seems. You think, just like, man, you're not really even hitting people. It's more like choreography, but you have to sell it. Like you
Let
need
me
to.
tell you something, man. If Arnold Schwarzenegger can do comedy, this dude can do action.
Well, I mean, did Arnold really do comedy
Yeah, did he
well?
really
We were
do
more
comedy
laughing at him trying to do
Right.
comedy.
Are we
than
laughing
him
with him or at
actually
him?
being
That's a good
funny.
question.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause it was just
Not
really
the tuba.
like it was just really sad.
Remember Kindergarten
I
Cop?
need to get the Turbo Man for my son.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I got to get a turbo man for my son.
I think the only real one I like, remember Last Action Hero?
That was
Yeah.
that was
That was good, but it was good because the script was just like it was
Okay,
really ripping on
wait.
action
I'm sorry, Slo. Let me cut you off. Shirzad says, why can't they give females their own original characters and stories instead of taking male roles that have been established for years? I know why, because no one will watch it.
What?
No, I
Like,
disagree.
really?
I
Like,
disagree with
Shirzad, let me whoa. Let me ask you something, Shirzad. Really? Like, how do you know no one will watch it? And why would you even like?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Michonne one of the most popular characters in like what the
Walking
last?
Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
I
is.
mean,
She
She
was
is.
the second most
Who is
popular
it?
character.
I'm sorry,
in
I
Walking
didn't hear
Dead.
you, Eric. Can you say it again?
Michonne. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just off the top of my head. It's like she's like one of the dopest, most badass characters in that show,
Mhm.
and one that people resonate with the most. That's an original character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Lashana is not playing Janice Bond or anything like that. She is going to be the next 007. The actual Bond is retiring, so not like they're trying to make her Bond. That's
It's the
not
moniker 007.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
getting the moniker 007. She's going to be a completely different character. So that whole, giving her own original story. She's an original character. That just puts that whole argument to rest.
Hey man, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pick us out. That's some sexy shit though, right there.
Well, people.
I mean, like seriously, like no one will watch it because it's a female. What kind of shit? Yo, do I need to pop out the Brondo? Oh my god!
But,
I can't
that's
believe
the
I read
same
this
argument. That's the same argument that people about when the rumor came out a couple years ago that they were looking at Idris Elba as the next Bond.
People
Oh,
lost their minds.
Over that.
Yeah, people lost their minds. They
Can't
was
be, a,
like,
can't be a black Bond. Are you kidding me? No, we can't have that.
They killing it. It's like they kind of forget that there was just because they didn't portray it on screen. There's been different Bonds. It's just that James Bond has been the one that they kind of just keep refreshing instead of just retiring that one and moving on to another person and another name. I mean, sooner or later it's going to happen.
yeah.
Yeah. The 007 is.
I mean, it. Yeah,
Can't
it's,
tell
I
you,
mean,
man. I can't wait for there to be a Latino president. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Michonne was kind of like pulled back in the show. It's like a lot different in the book, but
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff got jacked up in that book. But it
had to be. Can you imagine if they kept the real way that Lori died in the book?
No.
I wish they would have went the way that if they would have kept the way that the governor stuff played out versus how they played it out on screen.
Well, I'm kind of a closet Walking Dead fan. I'm not much of it anymore because I think the book and the show have really fallen off. But Robert Kirkman, the creator, said that they did it the way they did it in the show because when he wrote the book, he was just trying to be really edgy and get more attention. Yeah. And he didn't really, in retrospect, he didn't really feel like it was good writing. And he didn't think that some of the stuff he did, like he really regretted cutting Rick's hand off, having the governor cut his hand off. He really regretted stuff like that. He's just like, it just really kind of like, now I have to write around the fact this dude doesn't have a hand for the rest of the, this character's run. And then in the show, it was just like, they were like, yeah, we can't do this. Because the budget of having to keep to think about like in Game of Thrones, how they had to keep trying to hide or CG out Jaime Lannister's hand.
Yeah.
No, they just gave him a middle hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I haven't really cared about Terminators because the movies have been terrible.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with like who's like playing it. They just have not done a good one. I mean I'm always
Arnold's
interested
gonna be the new Terminator. He's gonna be the new Terminator.
I like the Terminator thing, but I mean, am I amped for another one? No, they haven't really shown me that they can handle another one. So I haven't really liked one since Terminator 2.
Right. It's not that it's all like a bunch of like females in this next one. It's just that all the Terminators have sucked since Terminator 2.
That's the same thing like how I feel about Predator.
All right. Chuck told me says that Shirzad has a good point, but some people will watch it. In my opinion, it's like making the Little Mermaid a man. Guy's not a reach.
He don't have a what? He don't have no good point, man.
No, once again, Tommy's not paying attention. Once again, she is not playing Bond. She is playing another character who gets the 007 monkeyer after Bond retires. That's like someone deciding I'm going to be the Little Merman after the Little Mermaid gets married and moves on and does whatever the hell. Well, I don't even watch that Disney movies. I don't know what the heck happened at the end. Regardless,
says take Blade for example. They cast all females. You all lose your minds. No, why would I lose my mind? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like I don't care if it's a female or male. Who cares?
Sure not. I'm gonna say something like in talking to like my boys. Like let's take The Crow for example, right? Those movies haven't been good since the first one, right?
Right.
But I was thinking to myself on concept, like how cool would it be if they went back to that movie, took the little girl from the first one, she ends up dying brutally, has to come back as a female Crow and deal out the same damage. I don't have a problem with a female taking the role of something. Like there's nothing that is ownership of anything in most cases. There are things, like I'm not expecting a female to play Zeus or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. It's just
this is
done right. I don't really care like who takes the role of something.
I don't understand like why a female Blade. I mean, like it's like so what if I mean why like I don't see. This is the thing. I don't get this like stuck mindset of if there's a female Blade, why is that a bad thing? Like why would that be a bad thing?
Well, I have a question.
Who cares?
So I'll ask the chat this. When it comes to so Bond is a hot topic right now. Let's say they cast another guy to be Bond, but the guy's name isn't James Bond, but he still has 007 in his name. How would you feel about that?
There would be no one complaining.
Nobody would complain if just because it's still 007, but his name isn't James Bond. His name could be Christopher Sutherland or some crap like that. But
nobody's saying anybody's wrong for not wanting different, but we're sitting here saying how wrong it is for a female to play something. So what are we talking about?
There's nothing wrong with a female.
So are we wrong for being okay with a female playing something? It sounds kind of like that's where we're going.
Look, man.
Well, let me say this, and I'm trying to sympathize with the other argument a little
No, you're
bit
not.
here. Yeah, well, no, wait,
Hey, no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait.
you're
Let
not
me
trying
let me
to
get this
somebody.
out. Let me get this out. Let me get this out. So, in the comics,
Wait, see, Black Rice says Bobby Brown Bond.
Just 'cause I can see a white blade. I would still watch.
in the comics, Bendis, the writer Bendis, who did a lot of Marvel stuff, and he did some good things like creating the Jessica Jones character and making Luke Cage relevant. He did some really bad stuff like everything else he did. So Bendis took over the X-Men franchise, like the X-Men, all the X-Men books, and he did something that made a lot of people angry, and I kind of agree with why he did why people were angry. He turned Iceman gay. Now, I don't have a problem with gay characters in comics at all. I don't have a problem with gay superheroes or anything like that. But when he turned Iceman gay, he had to basically like make everything non-canon about Iceman for like 30, 40 years of his history of him dating women, him being in love with women. It's just like now he's not, like, that doesn't make any sense. And writers doing stuff like that just to be edgy, I have a problem with. But when you have people have a problem with a female Thor, when there is a female Thor in the comic, like she's a different character who is a female Thor, like that doesn't make sense. You know, it's like it doesn't break any narrative that's already been created. It's just writing new stories. People just have a problem with seeing new characters taking a role that they think should only be a certain race or a certain gender, right?
What's wrong with the gay Iceman?
Huh?
What's wrong with the gay Iceman?
You know, there's nothing wrong with a gay Iceman. The problem is that they completely undid decades of comics. So, I mean, that's bad writing.
Why is that bad writing?
Because you can't. If you,
where's the letter of the law that says you can't change it?
There is no laws that you can't change it, but then there's also no law that says that we have that the actual readers have to like it.
Exactly, you don't. But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to like it, but some people. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like I don't think it's a big deal if people change things. Like if it's to reflect, because you get remember it's a lot of times art and entertainment mimic life, and things are changing.
Well,
but what I'm saying is that if there's already things, okay, it's different when you have a new character versus you completely change this one character.
But how do
you're completely ignoring everything that has been
doesn't he still
written.
shoot ice out of his hands?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Literally has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. All I'm talking about is Bendis is a bad writer, and he does stuff like that because he wants to be edgy and do something different. I don't think that like completely changing a character. Now, I can understand if it was like there was always hints all the way up until now, and he just kind of took it and was like, okay, I'm gonna use all these little hints to make it seem like he's really been hiding it all this time. I've been like, wow, that's amazing. That's great writing. But he didn't. He just said, oh, no, he's gay. And it's just like, that's like, as Shiraz just said, that is lazy writing. Now, that's my example of, I can understand when people get angry at things like that. Because I'm like, as an X-Men fan, I have all these books. I know who Iceman is, and then you completely change him. That's just, you're being a bad writer. Now, when people get angry about Falcon becoming Captain America, nah, you're just being racist.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're not changing Steve Rogers. You didn't turn Steve Rogers black. You just gave the symbol and the title and the shield to a different character. When there's a female Thor, she's not Thor Odinson. She's a different character. So this is what I'm saying, like, it's different characters, which is fine. But when it comes to Bond, she's a different 007, she's a different character. There's no reason to be angry about this. She's not Bond. She's not Janice Bond now. Like it's like people being angry about this stuff. They're really kind of exposing who they really are and what their real motivations of being angry are.
Well, and I want to add on to that, Slow Mo. Think about what Bendis did when they created Ultimate Spider-Man with Miles Morales.
Right.
And people lost it.
Yeah, and let me say that's another good thing that Bendis has done. He's done 3 good things with Marvel. that number 3 was creating Miles Morales. That was awesome.
But that didn't go over well initially. I'm saying that didn't go over well at all initially. And people thought, you can't replace, you can't. And it's like, he's not replacing, he was creating.
Exactly. And he didn't take Peter Parker and make Peter Parker black.
Right.
But what if
he made a brand new character who's a really cool character who has different spider powers. Like he's his own man. He has his own stories. It's really good.
And once people got out of their own way, it established a very cool character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But and guys in the chat, like all these points are all valid. Like we're all making these points, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I do, like Slow Mo said, like I wonder when people protest too much about certain things. It's like, well, what's your angle?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like the whole thing with with Natalie Portman, the female Thor.
I'm back.
People just like, I mean, the stuff on social media, it was insane. The stuff I was reading, I'm like, yo, have you guys not read the comics? Like, what is going on? Like, the fact that she's female, people were losing their minds.
Like, and let's be real, like some people don't even want females taking the lead on something. Like if there's an established female character who takes over something, people don't want that. I mean, we've seen that too,
Yeah,
that's true.
Stu, what's his name? Stu Jersey said they made Mr. Terrific gay in the show, but Stu, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a big DC guy, so maybe I'm wrong about this, but I was fairly certain that Mr. Terrific was a gay character in the DC comic, and that's I thought they were just following with who that character is.
Ryan said Peter Dinklage should play the next Wonder Woman.
Yo, I want to see that.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That needs to happen right now.
Shirzad says, "Okay, Black Mermaid original story tells she's Danish. What?
She's Danish.
First of all, a mermaid isn't even a human being. Let's stop this ridiculousness. If you really want to go to the original story, not the story that Disney butchered, she would have been green. You guys don't want to do that, right? We want to go to. How about you go to the original story where she dies at the end?
Right. Yeah.
Facts.
How about you go back to the original story where the only reason why she was trying to get with the guy was because she didn't want to fall in love with him. She just wanted legs.
She wanted legs, exactly. She wanted
legs.
That's
it.
Yeah, she dies in the original and turns to foam. Goodbye.
If
you want to go about what about the original text, then go to the original text, the original story. Then
hey, wait,
Disney's butchered story. Come on,
don't call me Dan. Says Shazad relax as a cartoon. I'm like, let's not pile up with Shazad, guys. But then Shazad says cartoon or not. I'm looking at big picture. What fucking big picture? Am I missing something?
There's no argument about Little Mermaid. And first of all, find me, regardless of race, a better actress and singer of that age range than the girl they got from that I can't remember her name. It's Holly.
Hey, Dietrich says I like Splash better anyway. Splash was a good movie.
Splash was a good movie.
John Candy.
It's not Holly Berry. Holly Bailey. That's her name. Holly Bailey.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She can sing her butt off.
Sweet of the Berry, whatever.
Yo, her singing voice is off the chain. Yeah, she fits the role perfectly, if you ask me. Because mermaids aren't humans, so we shouldn't care about their skin color.
Wrong movie, right?
Hey, Mulan can't even win.
Okay, Forley, please stop singing.
Hey,
voice sounds like Barry White.
Out here, it's crystal clear.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
Now I want a whole new world.
Now he sounds like R. Kelly.
He went to a lab. Oh man.
Oh, now I'm trapped in a closet.
Hey, Slow Mo. Mulan can't even win. She's female, Chinese, but people don't talk in dragons.
Yo, R. Kelly trapped in the jail cell right now.
Oh my God.
We went from MCU to R. Kelly.
Well. What the poop is this?
Okay, all right. Let's
It's crazy, man.
please stop. Please stop.
I want to piss on you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Do you remember that? You guys remember that Dave Chappelle skit?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh boy, when he did R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we still talking about Little Mermaid?
No, we're not. We're all over the place right now.
We all over the place now.
Oh boy, Stu Jersey said trip.
Drip.
All right,
let's reel it back. Let's reel it back. Reel it back.
All right,
Reel it back.
I want to go. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next topic here. Google Stadia and Slow-Mo.
yeah.
Thank you for turning me on this Forbes article. Paul Tassi released an article a couple days ago regarding Google Stadia, and somebody from Google actually. So I mean, I think we all thought that Google was kind of like going to be like the Netflix of gaming, right? And somebody from Google's like, no, actually, we're really not like Netflix. We're more like Xbox Live or PlayStation Now Plus. And I'm like, oh boy, this is not good. Like that. And Paul Tassi's like, oh, pump the brakes. Wait a minute. Like that's not a good thing. I thought the value proposition of Stadia, at least early on, I think I said this, was that it removes the barrier of buying it for a $400 or $500 box. But then if you look at the monthly subscription of whatever it is, was it $15 a month? I forget what it is now. 12, 15 a month.
15, I think.
It was like
15
10
a month, right?
It was like 10 a month for the. It was free for the basic version.
Yeah.
And then 15 a month if you want the 4K option.
Yeah, so I mean, you get the 4K option, right?
4K in surround sound.
And surround sound 5.1. Yeah. At that point, I mean, so
you can't get surround sound with.
You can't even get surround sound with basic. You got
stereo.
You want 7.1 surround stereo sound?
Right.
Or do you want mono sound?
We'll
give you mono for free.
Good grief. This is going to bomb in the world. Matter of fact, it is already dead. It's still born.
Okay,
it's not even born yet.
But if you compare it to Xbox Live, though, Xbox Live's a better value because Google's pitch is, you don't have to pay, you don't have to buy a console, right?
You don't got to buy a console for Xbox Live either.
Yeah, but well, exactly. You won't have to buy a console for Xbox. But at $15 or $14 a clip a month, you're going to be at that $400 to $500 price point at some point, and then you still have to buy the games, right? So it's not like a Game Pass thing where the games are included. So I mean,
you're not a believer anymore.
Yeah, you know what, 14. I might not be a believer,
you sound like you fell off the wagon.
Yes, I fell off the wagon, sir.
Yeah, I need to talk to Mooch because it was about a month ago. Shout out to Mooch. Me and him had a nice little discussion on Crossfire.
Very
about
passionate discussion, by the way.
And Mooch
he's a founder.
Yeah, he's a founder. He was trying to hide it. He was trying to hide his founderness. And
he put his receipts in a box and threw it in the ocean.
His founderation. He was just
fighting find those receipts, Forte.
He was fighting the whole panel on it, and I was just like, "Yo, Mooch, why are you so behind this?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're a founder. You already spent that money." Look, but Mooch was under the assumption that it was going to be like Game Pass. Like he's like, some of these 30 plus games are going to be just in that subscription. And I'm like, dude, and Crap told him, you don't know anything but besides Destiny. And this guy who works for Google confirmed it's only Destiny. That's only Destiny. And guess what? If it wasn't Destiny, it would have been nothing. Because Destiny's going to be free on every platform by the time this thing comes out.
Listen, bro, you don't even get Destiny free unless you buy the Founders Edition. You can't even get it for free. So you got to spend money just to get a game that's going to be free everywhere else.
Wait, and then you got to buy the season pass on top of that.
Oh, no, the season pass. No, they did say the season pass comes with the Founders.
Oh, is it
Edition.
okay?
The Founders Edition comes with the whole Destiny experience.
Then you got to cross your fingers and hope that you don't get any lag
Oh, guess what? And guess what? Cross save doesn't work on Google Stadia.
Right. So you gotta
It
play.
works.
So
You gotta play it like
playing with the same 7 people who got Destiny with you on Google Stadia.
Oh my god, you guys are
Wow,
terrible.
yo.
I hope
You guys
your
are
browser
terrible.
doesn't crash.
It's so dead. They got no exclusives.
Hey, remember when they first showed this, and I said they wasn't ready, and everybody's like,
Look,
"Oh
man.
no,
Yeah,
no,
I didn't believe you.
They're ready." You know what I mean? They just didn't have any games to show. No, this whole service was not ready.
Lord 5G was all in his feels, man. He was
I
like,
was.
man, it's gonna be ready, man. You know, we're gonna be the Fugal tagline was born on rap and everything.
That's right.
Enrique was up here championing this, and we was like, man, hold on, man. We don't know nothing about this. All we know is Destiny's coming with the Founders Edition.
Exactly, man. That was the podcast that the term Fugal was created.
Fugal was created.
Yes. I want to go.
There's only going to be like six of them.
You want to backtrack some of this, sir?
I want to go to a quote here. The guy says, to be clear, Stadia Pro is not Netflix for games, like some people have mentioned. A closer comparison would be like Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus.
No, that ain't
Pro
good.
subscribers get 4K HDR streaming, 5.1 sound, exclusive discounts, and access to some free games. Roughly one free game per month, give or take, starting with Destiny 2. So
starting with Destiny 2?
Roughly one free game per month. Roughly.
Don't I get like...
How is that like Xbox Live and PSN? PSN gives you 2 games a month, and Xbox Live gives you 4.
4.
Hilarious.
I think B once again I didn't listen to you.
Hey man, I've been trying to tell y'all,
man.
I tell you, B.
Enrique changed his Twitter profile, his Twitter handle.
I was preaching to Matt Piscatella. He was shaking his head like,
and
this
look,
fool.
And look, you ain't alone, bro. Listen, you ain't alone, bro, because a lot of people that believe Xbox xCloud is going to be rolled into Xbox Live and Game Pass. I think y'all gonna be for a rude awakening too. Because I'm trying to y'all thinking all this. You say, oh man, they gonna roll that shit all in together. Okay.
Nope, that's exactly why they ain't talking about it.
Nope, that's what they talking. They trying to figure out a way.
Right in the bushes right now. They trying to figure out a way to explain it.
How to spin this to y'all. They gonna give y'all this great. They gonna take a page out of Sony's handbook. They gonna give y'all this grand announcement, and then they gonna say, hey, Xbox Live, blah 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 blah, and xCloud, you have to pay $6.99 a month, and you get access to all your games.
Anyway, here's footage of Halo Infinite.
So guys, real quick, I want to go to this article real quick. This article, okay, because it builds up a good point. Like he talks about, Paul Tax talks about Stadia. He's saying, that Stadia is not, like on the same part. It's not on the same page as like an Xbox Game Pass or even Uplay, where those services offer, hundreds of games at a $10 to $15 subscription fee a month. He's like, right now Google's like slowly building up to having a small arsenal of titles.
What?
Yeah, and so he brings up a good point. He's like, Stadia controls 25% of the cost of a console itself, right? He's like, yeah, you don't need to purchase, you need to purchase all other games on the service individually, which removes the whole Netflix conversation. And despite being centered around streaming, Stadia is not a streaming service in the traditional sense, like a Netflix. It's more just an online storefront that sells games that rely on streaming instead of digital downloads.
Right, exactly.
So, that's not Netflix. That's not anything I thought this was going to be.
And what was really hilarious? Phil Harrison, aka Grown Up Charlie Brown, has been out here. He's been out here talking this ridiculous nonsense about like why he doesn't understand why people have these kind of questions. Well, look, Charlie Brown. We don't understand why y'all charging $60 for games when what are you licensing?
Look,
what's the purpose? Why is this game $60? There's no hardware.
Look, man, when they this is all I heard when they were on stage talking about Stadia. I just kept hearing wah 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 wah. Wah, wah, wah. I literally listened to once I found out that Destiny was gonna announce something at the keynote. That's the only reason I watched it, to find out what Destiny was gonna do. I ain't give two craps about what's happening with. I was like, oh cool, look at this. You guys get something that everybody else is gonna get for free.
Hey, by the way, Ryan Landis is so savage. He says, "I love hearing guys on podcasts defending Stadia while botting on Hangouts. I laugh every time."
Right.
Hey, that's no coincidence either. It's like every time you start talking about Stadia, something happens to your podcast.
And to piggyback off of Ryan, I love hearing guys on podcasts talking about how Google's not going to give up on Stadia so soon. Meanwhile, they're talking about what they're going to do for their podcast after this month, because Hangouts Live is going away.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for the apocalypse to happen in
the top left corner of this podcast.
One more week. Who's ready
I still need to figure out this whole freaking what's it called?
OBS.
OBS, yeah, and figure out how we can incorporate chat in that and all the other shit and tie it to YouTube and.
Hey man, Enrique, it's hard to be lower 5G when Google leaving you hanging like this.
I know, right? How am I going to defend? Like, listen. So for the 4K thing, the Stadia will cost you 100. Okay, hold on. The Google Stadia wants to compare itself to Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus, and yet at $120 a year for the 4K streaming tier is effectively twice the price of either of those. That's true.
Look, man, I'd rather own a system, and you telling me over the course of 4 years I'm gonna pay the equivalent price of a system that can do 4K day one?
Yes. And have games.
and the games that I already own will work on it.
So wait, guys. So this is actually great. So Paul brings up a great question. Who is Google Stadia intended for?
We asked that question 3 months ago. I think Slobo even asked. He's like, dude, who's this shit for?
Is it worth like picking it up to pay like to play games on the fly?
I don't know. You tell me, Enrique. You and your boy Mooch. You know, you guys are part of the revolution.
Hey, I'm not a founder. I didn't get the founders edition. I have not committed to Stadia.
Oh, so you were just talking a big gang.
No, I was excited, but I want to go to Eric Jackson on this. What do you think, Eric? Who's this intended for? I'm going to deflect here.
Go ahead and tell them the truth. Tell them the truth, bro. Tell them the truth. It was made for people with Lord 5G in their name.
Yeah.
Damn, don't call me daddy. See, I'm getting called out. Don't call me daddy. He's pulling receipts. He said you did brap rants for a month.
hey, Enrique was ready to be the charge, be the first, be a founder.
Enrique was an unpaid marketing intern for Google Stadia, man.
Enrique was ready to put the console wars up again. He was like,
look, bro, he was. Shout out to the Iron Lords, man, because that's exactly what King was talking about on the podcast on Sunday. He was like, you guys is mouthpieces for these companies.
Yep.
Because that's what Enrique literally did a live stream that was like an hour and 20 minutes trying to just talk about the community and how they kept down in Stadia.
Enrique, like, I started this lower 5G shit.
Lower 5G?
I get.
That's why, man, people don't realize that's why he's like, man, 5G's coming. That's why look, man, you can use your cell phone to get
the originator of this. Yeah.
Look, as we're talking right now, he's changing his.
Hey, I picture Enrique leaning up against a cutlass like Denzel.
Yo, Ryan, I'm looking for Ryan. I need a meme. I need a meme on Twitter. I need you to like put one and tweet it out to our boy Lord 5G.
You guys gonna turn on me?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Take it as hell, bro.
Hey, by the way, Texas Lean says I agree. Stadia can be a formidable service, specifically for new gamers that don't care for or about physical for new games.
Yeah, what games though?
But the problem is but that with those the people that don't care about console gaming, we talk about Phil Spencer, the 2 billion gamers and mobile gamers. They're not going to pay $60 for games, though.
Hell no.
And they're not going to pay $15 a month to play games.
What did Piscatella say? He was like, those people that don't spend money on games ain't gonna spend money on games. So
Right.
why would you go out and first of all, why would you go out and spend any money on peripherals and use it on the service that has no games that you still got to buy games for? You might as well just buy a console at that point.
I mean, Paul Tassi brought up a great point in his article. He also said that the other problem is, if you think that people who play on their phones are going to pick up a controller, and all of a sudden want to figure out how to use a controller, it's probably not going to happen.
Right. We have the same question for Xbox with Xbox Game Pass. I mean, not Game Pass, but xCloud. People keep saying, well, ain't nobody gonna pick up no goddamn controller and carry no controller in their book bag. As much as I carry a book bag with me every day, I don't even have my Switch on me every day no more. I think that fad kind of died with me a little bit, because who really wants to carry around anything extra? First of all, it's too damn hot out here.
Okay, wait, time out, guys. Time out.
Happened?
Here we go.
Stadia will still outsell Xbox from here out, and that gives it a reason to exist. You might be right, because Xbox don't care about console sales anymore. So who really cares?
No, he trolling.
I want to get our expert here, B Money. How would you respond to that?
Hey man. I just throw my hands up in there. Ain't no telling what Xbox gonna do, man. Everybody keeps putting all this faith in Xbox, like, oh, they gonna come back, and get back into their glory days. But who knows what they gonna do?
You really think Stadia's gonna outsell Xbox though?
You don't even know how many consoles Xbox sell. Stadia probably already outsold Xbox.
I mean, we don't know what Stadia is gonna transform into. You know what I mean? Like,
it's going to transform into a casket. That's what it's going to transform into. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now it is looking DOA. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to say, but we got to wait till it launches. We got to see what the response is to.
You had to be alive to be DOA, though, right?
Wow. See, that's not nice, man.
It's got a heartbeat, man.
It's got a heartbeat.
It's got a heartbeat.
Oh, so it's on resuscitation right now, basically.
Yeah. It's just on the monitors, man. We're just watching it.
Come on, you see this? You see the new hires at the coalition, or not coalition, at the initiative?
I don't know I don't care who they hire. What games they made?
What game they made?
All those designers level designers from God of War and more people from Naughty Dog.
Okay,
that's nice. How many games they made?
The recruiter for the initiative basically just standing outside of Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica, just waiting for people to walk outside.
I thought Xbox gamers didn't like none of those games that PlayStation made.
Oh wow!
I thought they didn't like none of those walking simulators. Now all of a sudden we touting everybody that they hire. That's from those studios though.
Shoot. So it's one and done.
Talk that talk, bro. Talk that talk.
I never, B's funny. I never looked at it like that before. But you're right. Like when Xbox gamers, there's gonna be that one guy who's gonna leave some messages in the comment section after this podcast. But him in particular, he was saying, PlayStation only puts out the same type of AAA first party games, that narrative-driven games, and they're hiring those people that worked on those same games.
Exactly.
Interesting point, man.
Yeah. That I think the initiative is going to make something similar to what we've seen Naughty Dog make, like a story-driven game with like a multiplayer mode attached to it on the back end. That's what it seems to me. Like they got, like, if you look at like the titles of these people, you got like multiple narrative directors and just like in the games these people have worked on, all they've worked on have been story driven kind of games, and games that have like really deep, complex like combat.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't be surprised if what they were making would be something similar to Left 4 Dead or something like that, where you could play it with 3 or 4 friends, but it's going to be more story driven. And the story is more intertwined and more engaging. And I think that's probably what they're really going for. And I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. Left 4 Dead is a classic.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan Landis says Xbox hired the puddle designers from Insomniac. The bots are thrilled. Oh my god, that's Jesus.
What you said? So Texas says that Game Pass, he loves it, but it's a dead-end service compared to something like Stadia. Ask him why.
No, I don't. The only thing I want to ask you is what drugs you on.
What drugs you on?
Come on,
And-
slow mo. Hey, man's got a serious question, man.
No, man. And then Shazard
Hey,
says,
hey, it's all jokes, Texas. I ain't messing with you, man. I just don't like a dead end service. I mean, look. This is what I would say about Game Pass. They're getting. It's going to have some serious legs in like 2 or 3 years, and here's why. They got all these people in on $1. And these are people who are already in the Xbox ecosystem. You can't go back to regular Game Pass and regular Xbox Live once that whatever you pay $1 for is up. Once they got you in, you in. And so now it's going to be that $15 per month. As time goes on, all these people, you either going to either jump out of the Xbox ecosystem altogether, or you paying them $15 a month.
wait a minute.
They're going to be all in. They're going to love that. It's going to generate a lot of revenue, even if it's just say like 30-40 million that continue to keep buying the Xbox. That's a lot of people. If over time, if it stays there, or let's say it goes down, let's say it goes down to 25-30 million. 25-30 million people paying $15 a month. This is why they're all in on Game Pass, because they see the long-term legs it may have. There's no long-term legs for Stadia. It's never even going to learn to walk. It's just going to be stillborn when it comes out. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. So the initiative is going to fail unless its game has multiplayer. It says Xbox gamers only like multiplayer shooters. Xbox gamers are the most one-note gamers out there. Okay, so let's act like we don't have revisionist history here, because I believe during the PS3 era, PlayStation was kind of thought the same way, where people didn't go out and buy their games and stuff because they felt like they didn't have multiplayer games, and they didn't have this and they didn't have that. And Xbox had all the different games. So honestly, it really just comes down to the fact that all those people that went over to PlayStation that didn't have PlayStation 3s and had Xboxes only, you got the majority of all those people on PlayStation now. So it's not the fact that Xbox gamers are one note. It's the fact that gamers just have a preference. And as of right now, the only thing that Microsoft really has that really intrigue people are multiplayer shooters. If they give us a first person, like a third person or a action game that's actually good, people will actually enjoy it and actually buy it. So it's not that they're one note. It's just that all those people that used to be diehard Xbox people went over to PlayStation, and that's where they reside at now.
Hey, I need to correct something. Hey, Texas, you don't own any of the games in Stadia. If you drop Stadia, you don't keep those games.
That's why.
But with Game Pass, you do have the option of buying all those games with a 20% discount. So at least you could, every single game that's in Game Pass, you have the option to buy. If you decide to check out of it, but I want to keep these 3 or 4 games, you can buy those 3 or 4 games with 20% off and just do your thing.
Look, man, I want Texas to put his mind where his mouth is. Show us a receipt of your Google. Show us a receipt of your Founders Edition.
Yeah, I want to see you as a founder, Fugel.
Yep. I don't even have conversations like, dude, anybody that says anything positive about this system, say, oh, it's going to outdo this and outdo that, I'm just going to tweet you a reply and be like, hey, can you please tweet me that Founders Edition that you bought since you believe in it so much?
Yeah, he's saying that, if like with Game Pass, you don't actually buy the game, you don't owe them.
We have the option, though. You can buy the games if you want to.
But
you buy games on Stadia, though.
You have no choice to buy the games on Stadia.
No, I'm saying you're buying them, but if you stop the Stadia service, those games are done. You're like you say, those games are done. But he's saying the same thing too, though. Like, I see where he's coming from in a way. Like,
no, I don't, because Xbox Game Pass, I paid $1 and I have.
But if you download those games
forever.
If you download those games though, those games will always stay in Game Pass.
What do you mean? No games could come and go out of Game Pass all the time.
Yeah, the only ones that stay is the
Xbox first party ones.
Yeah. But I think the big difference,
the store is different than what Game Pass is, and Stadia doesn't technically have a store. So like, if you went in there and bought games, they're not just going to be on your PC and you're able to play them without the Stadia subscription.
Exactly. If you quit Stadia, you can't play those games anymore because you have to stream it. There's no download option. Whereas with Game Pass,
you can still do the free option. You just don't get the 4K option if you buy them. But if Stadia ever goes kaput, you have nothing to be able to play those games on because the service is gone. It's just like,
and it's going to go kaput. Let's just be real here. I have to keep reminding you guys who Google is. Do I need to go find the website that has the list of all the failed Google products and services that they've tried to do and quit on very shortly when they didn't do well?
Well, don't do that.
Long list.
Don't do that list because everybody has that list.
I mean, it's just like the main reason why I won't spend a dime on Google Stadia is that I have no faith in Google to actually be in this for the long run. So when they're done, I spent my money on nothing. I can't play those games anymore. It's a waste of time, and none of their games are exclusive to them. I can find their games anywhere else.
You don't download games on Game Pass and you own them. You only own them if you pay for them. Those games come and go all the time. If you was to quit Xbox Game Pass, even the first party games, if you don't own them and pay for them yourself, you can't access them. When you click on them, they'll say, hey, you do not own a license to play this game. And the only way you get that license is A, Game Pass, or B, own the game by paying for it yourself. So those games aren't always available for you there either. The only difference is Xbox gives you the ability to download them directly to your hard drive. And even if you're not connected to a network, as long as it sees your account on the system, they'll still let you play it.
Yeah. Hey, what do you guys think about the new Xbox UI?
I thought everybody hated PlayStation UI.
Exactly. I thought everybody hated it straight from the infamous tile screen.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
My first question is that screenshot I saw actually real? That's the first question.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in the preview.
That's in the preview, yeah.
Really? Okay. Second question is it fast? I don't care if it looks like. I don't care if it looks. It could be an exact like pixel for pixel replica of the PlayStation UI. I don't care. Just let it be fast. Because the current one right now,
it's got to be snappy.
Oh my god! Like I could do like go to 3 different blocks of tiles, and it's like a 3-second delay. It's just like, are you serious?
So that's why I say, like, okay, I got the most powerful console in the world with the buggiest, slowest, like awful UI, right?
The UI
every time they stripped it down, it's hey, it's more streamlined now. It's less tiles, less this. Has it gotten any better?
Mm-hmm. All right, real quick. Z Black Rider says no, it's not any faster. Jez just posted.
Figured.
No, shit's gonna be just as fucking slow. It's on a console, first of all.
Yeah, but come on, man. PlayStation 4 is not that slow.
Yeah, the PlayStation 4 is
but PlayStation 4 also doesn't have 16 different things holding its UI down. It's just one UI.
PlayStation.
Wait, what do you mean 16 different things holding its UI
down? Because Xbox has
10 things, man.
Xbox has different things dedicated to different processes. Like they have different operations going on for Siri.
What are you talking about?
What?
What about Siri? You said Siri.
Oh, I did say Siri. Damn.
I'm like, what are you talking about? You got me maybe confused. I'm like,
Cortana. They have yes. All right, so we all know that
you can turn that off.
No, but it still runs. It's still running in the background for that, and then it's also still running Connect stuff in the background too. Remember, they have different processes for everything that you have in your system. Even if you don't have a Connect,
why is Cortana gotta be female?
The One X isn't doing that though.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. The One X isn't doing anything Connect.
You can still hook up a Connect to it. So anything that has anything to do with Connect, it still runs in the background. Because
why would it still run in the background if you don't have it?
Okay. So let me ask you this.
I don't know about that, Forte. I don't think you can hook a Connect up to a One X.
Yes, you can.
You got to get an adapter.
You got to have the adapter.
Yeah, you got to get the adapter. By the way, this new UI removes Cortana.
No, I thought it was different with the One X. I thought I remember seeing people like complaining about that they could no
Exactly.
longer
No,
use their
no, you
connection.
That's
can't.
what I
You
thought.
No, I
can't.
knew there was an adapter on the S, but not the
No,
X.
there's
No, there
there's
is no
adapter
adapter on
the
the S either. There's no adapter on the S either. So you have to buy the adapter for anything past the original X. I mean the S.
yeah.
Oh, you know what I think it might have been? That when the S came out, I think people were able to get one, and
You
now
were
it's
able
like
to get the
it's like
adapter.
Yeah, now you gotta
ridiculously
buy it.
expensive to get one. Like
Yeah.
they know what it is. They stopped making it.
But
Hey,
this is
hey.
the difference. Microsoft now allows you to plug up any camera to your Xbox, so that's the way that they went around it. But
Right.
trust me, the fact that this was a process that, and like I said, I could be 100% wrong, but this was the process for the original Xbox. They said that it was using CPU. Some of the CPU was being dedicated to powering the X. I mean, not the X, but powering the connected stuff. And same thing it was using for Cortana and everything too. And I guarantee you, the fact that your system can still do it,
No,
it's probably still running there in the background.
Nah, I think you're mixing a couple of things.
All right, what am I mixing?
Okay, like you are correct. And I just looked it up that you can use a Kinect sensor, but I don't think it's running that constantly in the background. That was correct for the original OG Xbox One, but not for the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. They're not running.
But they said it was
Kinect services in the background.
But this was a thing though. It wasn't that they said they were dedicating, not just it was saying whenever it's running, it's also using this.
It's run. It has
parts of the CPU to run that.
Yeah, and I recall reading stuff where they've changed that. They changed that years ago. It's no longer dedicating a certain amount of RAM towards Kinect. It's no longer doing
this
that.
shit is just fucking slow as hell. Then shit.
Yeah, it's exactly what we've been saying. It's just slow and buggy.
So even though when they removed
it's always been
Kinect features from it, it's still slow as
let's
shit.
just keep it real. The best UI, the last good UI that Xbox had
was the Blades.
the Blades on 360.
From 360.
Yeah, absolutely. 360 was
or
it
the
was
Metro,
perfect.
whatever it was called.
What
or the Blades,
like
yeah.
and that's just like the difference. And I know this is going to really upset some people. That's the difference between Sony and Microsoft. Sony's they even though it was not as good as 360's UI, they just kept the same foundation of what they had and just added some things to it.
It's
Xbox had to do something completely different from what worked on 360.
Microsoft is always giving us a new dashboard every 2 years. Every year, honestly.
I want to ask B Money a question. B, why'd you have to be so savage like that in the beginning, talking about the UI?
Hey man, it's just facts, man. Because every conversation when it's console worn, people are always talking about how they hate PlayStation dashboard and it's so basic, it's so plain. You don't see anything. It's like, okay, now look in the mirror. Your favorite console doing the same damn thing. So stop all that nonsense, man.
B, do you think this is a preview to what the dashboard's going to be on Scarlet?
Oh, it could be. I think they're gonna make a lot of stuff more simplistic on Scarlet, just because people been complaining about the dashboard since the original Xbox One. Like it's always been slow. It's always been if you got the Xbox One day one, it was absolutely trash to deal with that dashboard.
Oh, that dashboard was terrible.
I have a question.
It ain't much better now.
Do you actually think we're going to get
it's better, but not much better.
The question is, do you think we're going to get a new dashboard? Really? Do you really think we're going to get a new dashboard with the new Xbox?
I think we will. I think it'll be a big update. I think they'll roll everything out.
Do you think it's going to be a big update to just the dashboard in general? So the dashboard is going to be the same across all consoles, or is it going to
need to be? It needs to be.
Well, that's the thing I'm thinking about. So yeah, are they updating? So they're going to update the new dashboard, but it's going to be the same on all systems. Yes. So that's the only difference. So are you really doing anything new? Because every system is going to have the same fucking dashboard overall. So you're still going to have shitty ass service on X and under.
Hey guys, real quick, Con City says 360 was your Thor to today's Lady Thor Xbox. Well played, sir. Well played, sir.
Well played,
yes.
sir. Hey, Shirzad, that's how you do it, man. Tie it back in.
Yeah, that was good, Shirzad. Thank you for that, man. Texas Lee says Xbox UI is good for what it is. The PlayStation platform does better and other things.
Well, what it does better than a lot.
It's not good. It is not good. Like I'm gonna tell you a problem I'm having with my Xbox dashboard right now. For some reason, now some of the tabs on the thumbnails that show my games are black. Like they don't show what the actual game is anymore. So I'm like, I actually have to click on. I have to actually go to the block for the game. Let's say if I got games pinned, huh?
You talking about your pins?
Right. Yeah. So I got like a bunch of games.
Thing.
Yeah, like they're all black, not all black, but like a quarter of them are just a black space now. I have to go to it and actually click on it and launch it to see what it is. That's just ridiculous. Like, and I've rebooted the Xbox thinking it must have ran out of RAM. It just can't like display that anymore. It comes back up and there's different ones that now don't show. It's just like, what is this?
Slow-mo, I got a question to ask you, Slow-mo.
What's up, man?
Did you just Thanos snap your kid out of existence just
Yes,
now?
I did.
I heard that. I heard the snap. He shut up for a second and snapped his finger, and you heard the door shut.
I heard that too. I was like, what is that?
He just literally Thanos snapped his kid out of existence.
Hey, Slow-mo, you looked at your kid, you're like,
he couldn't stand.
You about to get the beat down.
He couldn't stand his failure.
Oh,
So he had to leave.
Hey, it's like
hold on, I'll be right back though.
Yes, where they caught you. Everything.
Everything. He looked at his kid, was like,
I saw something on Twitter the other day. Some grandfather like slapped his grandson 3 times.
Oh, it's so smooth.
The face.
So smooth.
Yeah, so smooth. I was like, what? I was like, oh my God.
Hey, you don't slap somebody like that unless you've been a pimp at some point in your life.
Dude, that dude, how smooth that slap was so smooth. I've never seen.
Hey, that was a girl. You about $40 short slap.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Yeah, I how many UIs are we gonna get this console generation? That's all I want.
We got like our fifth one.
Yeah.
I saw somebody say like, well, PlayStation hasn't really done anything to theirs. It's like
because it works. They don't have to.
You turn it on and it's there and it works.
It works fine.
Look, man, I'm happy sometimes when I see. Usually, this is the thing people remember when people used to make fun of their updates, where they would just say, "Oh, there's a new dashboard update." They would say bugs and fixes in their and all of their text files for what they were doing. Where Xbox will have this elaborate breakdown of everything that's changing, and they break the dashboard for about 2 weeks.
See, but again, I say when you're not dealing in games, you deal in a lot of other smoke and mirror bullshit.
That's true. That's true.
That's not even a diss.
But they also. The one thing I will do say, I think a lot of the reasons we got so many dashboard updates this generation is because they kind of had to backtrack a lot of the stuff that they implemented. Like think about it. Snap.
That's true.
Yep, Snap disappeared and then achievement that all disappeared.
But even after that,
people were hot about Snap too. People wanted that Snap.
Man, Snap was actually pretty cool, man. I liked it.
Even after that, man, like they got rid of Snap, which I liked. I mean, they could have just like had one standard UI from there on, right? And just updated that on that instead of making these drastic changes the way, I mean, like they've done all console gen compared to Sony, which Sony's done like tweaks here and there to their UI.
Look, man, Sony's freaking UI has been the same since 2007. They just made it bigger.
And Sony's not the software company.
And they gave us tiles.
That's the part that killed me. Sony's not the software company.
Well, and that's probably the reason why Xbox. I mean, we can't say it failed because 40 million consoles isn't failing, but that's why you can say Xbox kind of failed because they weren't in their identity, and that's why I think next generation for Microsoft is probably going to be better for them because I feel like they are going to what the identity of what Xbox is, which is a software-driven company around services, and that's why I think they're going to do way better next generation compared to this generation. They try to do something that they're not good at, and that is put hardware somewhere else. Let someone else do the damn hardware. You worry about services and bringing people into your ecosystem.
Yeah. By the way, Chief told me he says Upload Studios in the bushes. It is.
Yeah,
It's
what
been the same
they
for
haven't
years.
touched upload studios in years.
No, they haven't. PlayStation's recording features way better. It
better.
absolutely is so much better.
When I was playing Gears over the weekend and I was trying to find like my clips, like
nice segue.
It took forever. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't find my clips, and I go into Upload Studio, like, yo, I know I recorded clips. Like, where the hell are they? And it would take like 4 hours before like my clips would upload. I was like, man, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Like it's a pain in the ass to find your clips, man. I was trying to do that with Gears and with Halo, not Halo, with Destiny today. I'm gonna go Dominican Rocker 1955 says, guess what? If we use that mentality with everything, Blockbuster would still be around today, along with film cameras. I don't know. What are you referring to there? I don't. What is he? Do you guys know what he's talking about?
He's talking about just because they. I don't know. I can't even. I'm not even going to try to figure it out either.
Yeah. I don't know. But B.
Oh,
good
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, B Money, man. Good segue. Gears of War 5. I'm not gonna call it Gears 5. Gears of War 5.
No, that's what they want you to call it, sir.
No, I'm not calling it that. It's Gears of War 5. I'm gonna smoke a damn cigarette.
Don't call that game out of his name.
No, it's Gears of War 5.
That's what Rod Ferguson wants you to call his game. Gears 5.
Disrespect.
Call it G5 then. That's a
no, I'm gonna call it Gears of War 5. And so the tech test came out on Friday. I didn't try to get in Friday, guys. When I saw big shout out to J Dub Kratos, our good pal Kratos, when he tweeted out that he was in the queue for 2 days or something, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna try it today, and I wait till Saturday. But I did give some quick initial impressions in a rap rant early in the week. But I'll just say again, guys, definitely a Gears game through and through. I will say though, it's probably the best running Gears game that I played so far. It was really just rock solid. Frame rates, no issues there. Just ran silky smooth, and still got to be nice with the shot. That's all I got to say. But I'm going to get everyone's on the panel your opinions on this. B, I'll go to you, man. What were your thoughts on Gears 5, man? Gears of War 5.
I was having a good time with it, man. I like yourself, I didn't try to jump in there on Friday. I saw everybody with the crazy queues, and I tried once, and it was saying I had to wait like 18 hours or some nonsense, and I was just like, nah, turned it off. But got up Saturday morning and started playing it, and I was having a good time, man. I jumped in because it was tech tests. I have a little bit of issue like changing my character because I want to like try out different weapons and stuff. In arcade mode, but it wouldn't let me change my character. I only could use the one character. But I got in there. I was having a good time with it. It's silky smooth at 60 frames. Definitely makes a difference. And I think with arcade mode, it actually allows a lot of other players who would normally not like Gears, because it is a Nasher fest, actually get in there and kind of enjoy it, because it's mostly focused on automatic weapons and stuff. You kind of have to upgrade to unlock the shotgun and different weapons throughout arcade mode. So I think that portion would probably be a little bit more enjoyable for more people who aren't really used to playing Gears. But I jumped in King of the Hill, had a good time there, and that's that was a ranked mode. So of course everybody brought out the shotguns.
Yeah, I was gonna say that King of the Hill is where I really saw the shotties come out, man.
Yeah, and if you know what you're doing, you're gonna have a good time.
Yes, sir.
It's Gears through and through. But if not, it's probably gonna frustrate the hell out of you. But I was enjoying it, man. I can't wait till this weekend, because there's another tech test. I believe they're updating it and giving us a couple different modes to play.
They showing us the campaign? Oh wait, no, they're not doing. I'm sorry.
No campaign.
Nope, that's later on,
campaign,
sir. Right before the game comes out.
Like 2 days, right?
two days before the game comes out, we'll see some campaign.
A B, you know what I thought was a nice welcome addition was the arcade mode, because I feel like if you're not like because Gears, I always felt like Gears multiplayer, you gotta be a Gears, like you need to play Gears, other Gears of War games to do good. I think Yeah,
it's definitely not a game you could just jump in and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get busy, because you're gonna get wrecked. And
yeah, you will get wrecked, and people will curse at you if you're on their team and you suck. And I thought arcade was kind of a nice segue, nice introduction for people who didn't want to, who haven't, maybe were a little bit gun shy, trying trying to get into Gears competitive. Kind of ease them in a little bit.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Eric, man, did you play the tech test?
Yeah. Put some hours in on it over the weekend, and I'm in the same boat with B. You can definitely see the improvements. It was a lot smoother. Didn't feel like you were sticking to the walls nearly as much. Didn't feel as janky.
Yeah.
So like all those were pluses, and I tweeted about it. I just kind of said, it looks gorgeous, but I didn't expect anything less because Gears 4, the problem with that game was not how it looked. The game was beautiful, so I expected it to look really good, right? So outside of that, the 60 frames is definitely welcome. I think arcade for them is actually going to be more popular than what people are thinking.
Yeah, I think so too.
In a Fortnite Apex world, I definitely think they're going to probably have more people rocking in there because, you guys were saying, Gears was like specialized, and if you weren't holding your weight or carrying your weight, people weren't going to rock with you like that, unless you were in a private match with some friends just goofing around.
Right.
I think arcade is definitely going to be welcome, especially if they support it the right way and they kind of, facilitate that community or that group of players. That could be a big deal for them. But other than that, I still stand by what I said, man. I come to Gears first for the campaign. That's what I enjoy the most. The multiplayer is secondary for me. And I'm just hoping that we don't have a Halo 5. I'm hoping it's a complete package where we come back in, a couple of weeks. Not a couple of weeks, a little longer than that, late September or whatever. And we're saying, they 100% delivered as a complete package. It's great. Everything about it, from the campaign to the multiplayer. But I'm sorry if it aggravates people that if you mention those things, but they don't have a great track record right now.
Why would you want to see campaign? why are you tripping? I mean,
let them roll out the game the way they want to.
Yeah, it's their game, man.
It's their game.
Let them bury themselves.
Yeah, you don't have a voice as a consumer who puts your money down on all this shit. Why you being an entitled gamer? Kill me with all that shit, man. It's like, yeah. Anyway, Enrique sidetracked me. If that campaign ain't popping, you will be hearing about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If they come with anything less, because I know dudes like to give all the Xbox execs and developers like the passes of everything because they think they're like family at the barbecue. But no, we put our money down. I demand.
Yeah, the barbecue.
They brought a potato salad, man.
Yeah,
Oh.
with the raisins in it.
Hey, by the way, real quick, I want to go to live chat. I can't pronounce his fucking name. Elika Speaks says, voice as a consumer means you can tell them how to market a product, please. You haven't put down a cent.
I'm hoping homeboy or homegirl is trolling because I don't even know what the hell that means.
But
Right.
I guess he's saying.
How did he know how much money he's put down?
I mean, I guess he's saying. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's saying he's assuming you haven't put any money down, which.
So
all of us
is his argument? If I've already pre-ordered it, I get to say, and they got to do whatever I want. Is that your argument? That seems like a very faulty logic there, sir.
This is the guy, and by the way, in the comment section who said, I would lose in an argument, a debate.
Oh, is this guy?
Oh, that's that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, well,
yeah.
then Elika, no. Unless you are going to send me a check for everything that I put into Microsoft products, and I can say whatever the hell I want to say.
Tell him.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I keep telling people. Like, if you buy a product, you spend hundreds of dollars, and you could just wait for the review. Why do I have to wait for the review?
No,
I mean,
frankly,
this is. Let me tell you. Wait, hold on, E. This is the problem with some people in the community. Low standards. You guys have low standards.
That's exactly why they are in the position that they're in.
Yeah, that's why fucking Microsoft's in the position they are. That's why I'm mad, because I was there 18 years ago when they were kicking ass, when they had games, exclusive games like Atoji, fucking Panzer Dragon Orta, Ninja Gaiden, Splinter Cell.
Brute Force.
Yeah, Brute. Don't see Brute Force. Brute Force CGI was fire, man. That's all I gotta say.
That's the only thing that was fire.
That was Slow-Mo's favorite game.
Hey! Don't put that hex on me, Ricky Bobby.
Slow-Mo's gonna slap. He's gonna snap me out of existence.
Yo,
See,
I'm
that's
not
the
even
kind of shit
saying
like,
that. You know
like
what?
I don't.
I'm starting to realize more and more. And I'm not saying that this is this
Okay,
eloquence.
I'm sorry, E. I don't mean to interrupt you, man.
No. It's fine.
He's
But
saying you tell us to respect the reviews. Now you say they're useless. Make a decision, dude. I never said reviews aren't useless. I'm just saying I would like to see the game, but I don't have to wait for a review. I don't understand why it's so hard to like figure out. Like I don't. I want to see the campaign
wait,
because
Enrique,
wait,
let me
wait, no,
discuss.
wait, wait, because they've promised because Coalition has come out and said this is going to be the biggest Gears campaign ever. What does that mean? I want to see that. Like as a fan of the franchise, I want to see what that is. That gets me excited. So I want to see what it is you're talking about. You're out here pounding your chest. I want to see what it is you're talking about because I'm a fan of the franchise. It has nothing to do with reviews.
It's gonna be a lot of L's out here in the next month.
I'm telling you guys. I tell you guys. I hope this game. You know what? Don't say that, Forte, because I'm collecting receipts.
It's a bunch of L's gonna be out here, bro.
Don't say that. I don't because I don't want to see the game. I want to see the game do well.
I think the game's gonna do amazing. I just think that depending on what side of the fence you are on this, it's gonna be some L's out there. Some people out here saying, "Well, why are you up here talking all positive about something that we ain't seen no single player in?" And if that single player comes out to be fire, it doesn't really matter. But then you're gonna have the other side of the narrative where if they don't show anything and that single player sucks, they're gonna be like, "See, this is why I'm glad they didn't show me this piece of shit and all this other stuff." I mean, it's gonna be I
No,
can't.
but the fact is,
I
you know,
can't
if
wait,
that because you're gonna have your trolls that'll do that regardless if it's fire or not, right?
Right,
But you're
right.
also gonna have your stands, no matter how terrible that campaign could possibly be. And like, I don't see it was kind of good to me. It wasn't that
you know
bad.
what-
I don't
I don't know,
know.
man. All the stands kind of left and tried to flip allegiances now.
No, you're gonna hear the stand say, "Oh, but I have fun with it."
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Right,
exactly.
B?
Classic line, man.
What's the line, B?
That's gonna be a classic line. I had fun with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like, you know, I know we're speaking on like reviews. Like, there was a time I didn't need to have a review for like Gears of War or Halo.
Yeah.
But who killed that for me? Microsoft, 343, and Coalition, right?
Yep.
343 delivered a pathetic campaign, great multiplayer. And I know they were trying to get around the whole Master Chief Collection thing. That's fine. That's great. And I know the stands were saying, "Oh, I had fun with the campaign." Okay, you know what I'm saying? I can have fun.
They broke
popping
canon in
balloons
Halo
all day long.
5.
Someone said they had fun with Halo Guardians campaign.
Oh yeah,
A lot of people have.
not that
Yeah, they
bad.
lying. I don't believe that. Yo. Anyone who says that, they not even telling the truth, yo.
As much as I love Halo,
I want to hear details. Like what about it was fun?
Look,
Fighting
man.
the same boss like 10 times. That was fun to you.
The guy that would show
what
up and
is
disappear.
yeah, as much as I love Halo, man, Halo 4, it took me a year just to I had the game day one and decided not to go back and actually play and beat that game to a year later. And it took me about 3 weeks to do it because it was like this slog fest. And then Halo 5, same thing. A year later to beat it. And then it literally took me almost a month to beat that game because it's like, man, this game is terrible. And then you would just go in and say, I gotta finish this game just because it's a Halo. I'm a Halo fan and stuff. And it's like I never did that with Halo 1, 2, Halo 3. It's like Reach. Those games were beat literally in the first week that I got them.
ODST?
Multiple times beat in the first week that I got them. And the fact that Halo 4 and Halo 5 was like, well, and I kind of questioned myself too. Do I really like Halo? Is it this I don't like the Halo franchise anymore? No, they freaking they were terrible stories, and it makes you not even want to play the game. And the only reason you do it is because you just feel like you have to because it's a game that you want to keep up on.
You know, they broke canon in Halo 5 too.
No, they break. Oh, man, well, we're not going to talk
But
about it.
that's kind of where it was with the Gears 4 for me. Like, I know people say, well, I had fun with it. It was fine. It did to me, it just felt like more Gears. And that's kind of what I was going to say about the tech test. I said, okay, all that stuff is great and it works smooth. And that's why I said anybody who's here for Gears multiplayer, they're going to be right at home and feel happy. Because it looks like they're definitely building up to a great multiplayer experience.
I think the multiplayer is gonna be awesome. I think it's a great
Right.
way. Yeah,
that's fine, and that's great. But like I said, for somebody who comes for the campaign first, that has to be popping for me to give the W. You know
but
what I'm
Eric,
saying?
but isn't it like for you? And I think for a lot of us, like it's got to be good because it's been synonymous with the franchise. It's always had good campaign.
They've had some of the best marketing campaigns.
And
And
I
when they
still
were
think
proud of campaign, and granted, you can change things and do things different. I get that. But when they felt they had all things in place, they rolled it out.
yeah, Emergence Day was one of the best marketing campaigns they ever done for the game.
Right. I'm
Love
sorry,
Emergence
but
Day.
I'm sorry, but when you're trying to do, E-League and everything else, and you're focused on multiplayer, and you're talking about your campaign is going to be 2 days, and you haven't said anything even remotely leading to it, it's very special. So we don't want to ruin any parts of it. We don't want to risk anything being whatever. That's transparent. I can get that. That's not what you're saying. You're doing the same speak that you do when you go into every E3. It's like when Phil always says, "This is our biggest E3 ever." He's supposed to say that.
Right.
Yep.
When we saw that that article a few weeks ago, I think it was from GameSpy or so, or whoever it was, and it said, Coalition game director says this is the biggest Gears ever, and people were like, "See, we told you not to worry." I'm like, I will believe that if outlets all saw something and got together and say, "Yo, you guys are going to be in for a treat."
Yeah, it'd be different if it was a
I
preview.
don't take the word of the person working for the company, because what else is he supposed to say? I'll take his word when it comes out and it's fantastic. Then I'm like, yo, that dude wasn't lying. But right now, that's what he's supposed to say. What is he gonna say? Well, it's better than Judgment. But 2 days
Shiny
before
turd is better than Judgment.
facts. But 2 days before your game launches, I mean, we've been here before. That usually that's weird territory to be in, especially for your big tentpole game.
That's what I've been trying to tell people, and people look at me like I'm freaking crazy.
No, you're supposed to be
yo.
quiet and stop, because it makes me feel bad when you talk too much about this.
I want everybody to keep the same energy if they do the same rollout for Halo.
Mm.
Right.
I don't know, man.
So
by the way, what is Strand Game? What is Alec is talking about here? Strand Game?
That's that nonsense that Kojima called Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Yeah,
he was high on some meth thing going on.
He was on some MDMA that day when he said Strand Game. You accept? I mean, first of all, we're not talking about Death Stranding. Number one, we're talking about Gears. Death Stranding is a new franchise. Okay, and
It
actually,
doesn't matter if it was a new franchise or not. Why everybody always trying to throw something else into the conversation? We talking about Gears, so Death Stranding is irrelevant to the conversation.
What about isms? You gotta make it a PlayStation versus Xbox thing.
Yeah, they got to make it a console. We've seen, but we've seen gameplay footage. We've seen gameplay footage of Death Stranding already.
I'm saying, but how about for once we hold the companies themselves accountable for what they are doing?
Thank you. Hey, Alecus, why don't we stop?
I'm getting a little bit over the whole, well, we have to compare this to this because, okay, you don't say this about Microsoft, but you say this about no. Everything Microsoft is into right now, Microsoft put themselves there.
Don't call me Daddy says, but Obama, question mark.
I put it all on. I don't sit there saying, well, I blame the media for the position Microsoft put them, or Microsoft is in. What I was going to allude to after what Forte was saying is true, is like they killed how hype I used to be for these franchises by putting out subpar effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, Gears 4 campaign was horrible with that horror mode stuff. 4 plus levels of DBs to fill it. It didn't get good until the last 2 acts.
I hate the DBs. The worst thing ever.
And I came out of that campaign like, okay, it felt like more Gears, but it didn't do anything to blow me away. And let's be real, you want to bring Sony into it? After I played Gears, God of War Ascension, which God of War is one of my favorite franchises from Sony, I said, if they come back with another God of War that's like this, I'm done. I have no interest anymore. I've outgrown that.
Real quick, this is, and I'm not trying to pick on Anelicus here, but this is the issue with, like B said, like, what does one have to do with the other? Like, this is the problem. Instead of holding Microsoft accountable, people deflect. And it's like, when you guys do that, you guys hurt the brand. Like, stop doing that shit. Stop doing it, because, like, they see what you guys say on social media. If you say this shit's okay, they're not gonna do anything to put better content out.
Yeah, Elicus. Yeah, Kojima's controlling his artistic freedom, in his marketing campaign. But guess what? He's shown parts of his game. We still don't know everything about it, but he's showing parts of his game.
Like Kojima's actually shown campaign footage. Actually showed CGI footage tied into the campaign. We haven't seen any of that from Gears.
Microsoft has a reputation of only focusing in on their core audience who cares about multiplayer, which I don't really necessarily believe that's all true. But right now, that's what they look like.
Can I say something real quick about this whole you accepted quote Strand game though? No one accepted that. Like, stop trying to take what other people have said and place it upon us. That's lazy logic. That's lazy thinking. And I would like to think that you're more intelligent than that. Okay.
No.
So, like, what to actually take things that we said, stop using the lowest common denominator from other people that you heard, and then apply that logic to us. No one up here was defending Strand game. We were laughing at that. Every single one of us, well, not every. I know B Money's a big Kojima stan, but I, in particular, was like, this game looks ridiculous. It wasn't until I actually saw gameplay that I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So stop trying to apply faulty logic that other people have said to this argument. If you're actually going to come at us with something that is a relevant argument that actually makes sense, then do so. If not, then I don't know what you want, bro. Hey, thanks for listening, but go kick rocks.
He's like, how do you know it's campaign footage? Well, because it's not a multiplayer game. So what else are they showing us?
And Dominican Rocker, I don't find it hard to believe that people enjoy Gears 4. I don't find it hard to believe that people enjoy Crackdown 3.
I do.
I don't have a problem believing
I
people
enjoyed
enjoy
Crackdown 3 for the little bit for what it was.
I enjoyed Terry Crews.
Everybody can have enjoyment in whatever game they want.
I also think this goes back to what Enrique said earlier, though. I didn't have a problem with Crackdown 3, but the fact that I said for what it was lets me know that my level of what I expect from Microsoft has diminished over time. And it's because I want Xbox to give me a game that I want to be 100%, in love with, and that hasn't been the case over this whole generation. But that still doesn't mean the games were bad. It just means that we just want more from them games.
Oh my God, Elika speaks, dude. Stop trolling, man. Like, seriously, dude. Like,
because Forte.
Like, dude, he says, how do you know it's
where we had that?
He's like, how do you know it's not a multiplayer game? He's talking about Death Stranding. Is a Strand game single player, multiplayer? Question mark. Dude,
I don't care. You know what? Like, can we stop talking to this dude because he's irrelevant? Let's just get back on topic because everything he's saying is
like, dude, like, stop.
He's like, all night.
He's like, dude, just stop arguing for the sake of arguing. Like, you just like you're not even making valid points. You're just arguing for the sake of arguing. But I mean, they said it was a single player game. I mean, like, were you under a fucking rock when they announced this game? I don't get it.
All right, I'm with slow mo. Let's move forward.
Sorry, guys. I don't have patience for fanboys. I just don't. I'm very upset I'm just very upset by the whole Xbox thing, man. Because I was there from the beginning, 18 years, man. I'm telling you.
Well, what I was saying earlier was, and I obviously don't know who came from what, but I get the impression that more often than not, when you're going back and forth with people on Twitter about these things, they got an Xbox One this generation, so they don't know.
So they're new to the game.
They don't know like the history that we know. That's how I feel sometimes. I don't know if that's always true, but that's how I feel sometimes. And you can tell sometimes when you're debating somebody's like, you just came into this.
Yeah.
You could tell when they came in, late 360 generation, and they were excited about getting an Xbox One, and they don't truly know the history. You could just tell by the things that they talk about and how they go into discussions.
Right. So,
if I'm passionate, man, it's because look, I was a big fan of the Xbox. Day one, man. OG Xbox went out, stood in line, got my Halo, switched from my 56K modem to cable so I could be a beta tester. And now I feel like this generation's been poo poo. I mean,
here's the funny thing. People can say what they want to say, right? Yeah, we don't know what the Kojima game is. And I think
we know what it is. They didn't. I mean, we all know.
We don't know. We don't know what that fucking game is.
But we know it's single player. We don't know the context.
That's my whole thing with that game. It's like I'm more intrigued by it, but I've been keeping the same energy ever since I seen it. I was like, oh, it's cool. You showed me some gameplay finally. I see ladders coming out of people's back pocket, but guess what? I still don't know what this fucking game really is.
Go gadget ladder.
Hey,
but my point was going to be, but you can best believe when that game drops, if it's good, we're going to give it its props. If it's terrible, we're going to go in on it.
If it's terrible, y'all know I am going to be Man, I'm gonna be
It ain't
That's
gonna
the
be
stepping
difference,
terrible,
though. That's the
all
difference.
over
Though.
that.
Energy.
it ain't gonna be terrible, man. It's Kojima, baby.
I
Look,
don't know,
look,
man.
B,
It's
B,
80,
B.
B,
88
B,
or higher, baby. 88 or higher.
I don't know,
Sticking
B.
with it.
B.
I'm
I love you, bruh, but when it comes to Kojima, your opinion is like Enrique with Stadia.
oh.
I don't think you got a clear eyesight on this one, okay? So
Hey, I told you I'm with B. Like, I'm here for the foolishness.
Oh yeah, we here for the foolishness now.
I just want to know this: what's the over or under on how many feature films we're going to be able to watch during this whole?
Oh,
thing?
you already know we in for a good a solid 3 feature films.
Three
You're gonna
feature
put the
films.
controller down for a minute.
Yeah, how many times we gonna watch? How many times we going to watch Avengers Endgame in this one game?
Hey, Ryan Landis says magic ladders and throw babies. Kojima might be creative, but he's not coming near my kids.
Yo, go re-implement that Metal Gear thing. He's gonna read in your cloud saves like, I see you like to play Fortnite.
Yup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we know he don't like Fortnite off of his most recent comments.
No,
Yeah,
I tell you what. If this game bombs for Kojima, I promise you, Slow-Mo, the title of the podcast that night will be "Never Go Full on Kojima."
Yes.
Man, we got to make sure we got to protect our mans though. If this game is bad and we start seeing 5 out of 10s and stuff, man, we got to make sure we're here to protect our mans, dog. We got to protect them.
I don't know, B. This is the first Kojima game I'm not so sure about, man.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, how many times have I been right?
I mean, if Jeff Keighley was,
I hear you, man.
I'd put like this: if Jeff Keighley was the sole person reviewing this game, then I think he'd be all right.
Yo, Kojima trolls like a mother, man. Kojima,
With as many people as he's shown this game to, and everybody's like, it looks really interesting. I still don't know what it's about.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, what is it?
That's when people trying to be nice. They're just like, yeah, it looked good. Yeah, and it looked really interesting. So
Tastes like
what's
chicken.
it about? Well,
It's like chicken.
you're gonna have to see. You're just gonna have to see. It's hard to explain, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. That's.
If Metal Gear 5 could get 9s and 10s, this game gonna be just fine.
I think Metal Gear 5 wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite Metal Gear game.
It wasn't a 9. There's no way it should have been rated 9.
It does not deserve a 9 at all.
No. I don't know. That's debatable, I think.
Look, there are certain people and franchises
Not a 10. I don't think it was a 10.
a pass, like Zelda. They can make Legend of Zelda the secret of the poop, and and it will be like, it's amazing. Nintendo has done it again. This Zelda game, I never thought I would enjoy shiny poop like this, but this poop is amazing. It made me look at my poop and wonder, why aren't you this amazing? Like that's what that'd be kind of reviews we'll get. So when it comes to Kojima, it's just like it's Kojima. It used to be Fallout, not anymore. But Kojima and Zelda are definitely that there's going to be people just like everything they do 10 out of 10. Doesn't matter that you don't understand it and I can't explain it. It's a 10 out of 10. It's just, it is what it is. I have accepted it.
Oh my goodness, those poop mechanics are brilliant.
Exactly, I'm telling you.
Only Nintendo can implement poop mechanics that way.
I love the part when Link pulls the Master Sword out of the poop. Amazing.
Oh, and then when Link has to survive and he eats his poop.
Yo, the running down the leg physics was just amazing. Hey, Slow-Mo.
The textures on the poop were just phenomenal. They had diarrhea and solid poop. And
yo, I ain't hear you. What you say, man?
I said Fallout still gets passes.
Yeah, for some people, from the Bethesda hardcore, yeah, absolutely. But I think 76 was just like so. It was really hard for people to try to make excuses for 76.
Yeah.
I don't know because I tweeted earlier. I replied to PlayStation Broad because he was saying the fact that Wolfenstein comes out Friday. You seeing nothing about it at all, right?
Stealth release.
And I said, I low key start thinking that Bethesda Studios does not promote like this Bethesda Software's games because they're like, yo, they're actually better than us, so we can't promote this shit.
Exactly.
That's exactly
It's
what
like
it is.
jealousy or something.
That's exactly what it is. They
Yo,
don't show them no love.
I was just on PSN. I saw like not one front-facing ad for Wolfenstein. Like I had to dig and actually go find it. And then the same thing, I went on Xbox. I had to go into new games, but it's a new game dropping. These games should be on the forefront of these stores.
Yep.
It's nowhere.
Yeah, it's crazy because it actually got some pretty good praise at E3 this year.
Yo, I don't know what it is, man. It's like anytime a Bethesda Software's game comes out, it's like they bury it.
Well, let's keep it real. We know who makes the better games.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All of those little studios they got around the area that they publish make basically keep them afloat. I'm not gonna say keep them afloat. It keeps them looking relevant because of course the 10th platform they put Skyrim on keeps them afloat. But games like Wolfenstein and Doom, those games are amazing. They're not buggy as all get out. When they come out, they are great from beginning at launch all the way until whenever you stop playing it. I'm getting Wolfenstein Youngbloods. Like I'm getting it this weekend. It's a bet. Like I've made my decision. I'm getting that over Fire.
Are you getting a Switch, Slomo?
No. No, I actually want to see what the characters look like. I don't want to see characters that look like they did their makeup in the rain. He doesn't
want them looking like Fallout characters.
Right, you're right. These hand-faced twin sisters. Nah, I ain't trying to see that. I'm getting it on my X. That's why.
What about you, Enrique? Where you gonna get it at?
I don't know, man.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm trading my Xbox.
Some people you've been slandering Xbox for like the last couple of weeks.
I'm just angry, man. I don't know what it is, man. I'm like the mad rapper.
He like, let me tell you why I'm mad, son.
Yeah,
tell you why I'm mad.
Tell you why I'm mad, son.
This is why I'm mad, man.
Don't be asking me no questions, son. Don't be asking me no questions.
Seriously, man. I don't know why. I'm just mad. I just tired. I'm just disappointed. Like this was. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, man. People letting their feelings get too involved in video games.
Yeah,
man. You gotta take a step back, man.
Just gotta sit back and
pull out that X, play Youngbloods, enjoy yourself.
Be married. Be married.
Everybody in this room, and this is the one thing I hate when people do. Everybody in this room has an Xbox One X, so everybody in here has, to an extent, put down money into this platform and spent $500, $600, $700 on whatever system they have. Enjoy the system you have. The system, the games that are on the system should matter more than anything, not the stuff that you're waiting for. Just control what you have now. It's like it's so many great games out here.
I see, Forte. I see what you're doing.
I mean, it's too many great games out here for us to really worry about what's coming in the future. You already bought the system. Now, when it comes to that next system, like I've been saying, Microsoft didn't give me a reason to buy the next system. But trust me, I'm gonna get the fullest out of my Xbox One X. So that's why I don't really complain and really care about what Microsoft is doing going forward, because ultimately either they're going to make games that I enjoy and I'm going to play them regardless, or I'm going to get rid of my X and say I'm through with Microsoft. But is that
kind of what I said before, Forte? Like, I really don't. I mean, I know, like, I have debates and talks with people on Twitter. I'll always do that because I'm a gamer. Like, I'm a gamer, right? But it's not for me to sit here and worry about what Microsoft is doing anymore. Right. That's on you.
Mm-hmm. So Forte,
I don't really care at this point.
Forte, what you're trying to tell me is I should just shut up and game.
Exactly. Play games. Fuck this Look, man, I understand you need to do content for your YouTube channel. That's that. I know you got to have these rants and shit ready to go. And I'm with you 100%. I'm understand. But bro, when it comes to complaining and arguing with these people about shit that don't matter, let that shit die, man. Microsoft, look, man, unless Microsoft put the check in your pocket, I could care less what the hell is going on with these games right now, because Microsoft hasn't given me we cared about this shit way too long. Way too goddamn. Think about it. If Halo, look, Man, if Destiny wasn't a game that was out right now, can you imagine how miserable I would be as a gamer right now? Because they haven't given me anything this whole generation that I've been super excited in. The games I would have been excited in were trash. They were all trash.
Hey, I say fanfare got them a lot of mileage. Like being a hardcore Xbox fan got them a lot of mileage.
Got a lot of mileage out of them.
But hey, we're almost out of gas.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's
I ain't went to no gas station this generation yet, man. Put it that way.
Right. So that's all. It's like
no.
I hear what Dominic Rocker says. People pretend that MS promised 10 AAA exclusives with EA. No, it's not necessarily that they promised, but
you had people had expectations, and guess what? This was going back to that whole conversation where people were saying, "Well, do exclusives really matter?" Well,
absolutely.
They do matter, but just not for Microsoft.
No, they don't matter.
They matter for Microsoft. They matter for Microsoft too. That's why they bought out them damn studios.
They just
don't matter for everybody.
They just don't matter for the system itself.
Don't you know 90% of gamers don't care about?
But this is the thing, though. Like I always told people when it came to just me in general. Well, people always say, "Why did you buy an X?" Then you knew there was no games, there was no consoles. But the thing is, when I bought my X, I knew I just wanted to have a better experience. And anybody that went out and said they bought an Xbox One X for first party goddamn games, you were lying to yourself. There was no first party games on the horizon when the X came out. All you did was buy a game that played third party games better because you got tired of being in the dumpster when it came to all of those different Digital Foundry videos saying that, oh, this game sucks on this system, it plays better on that one. You kind of wanted to be on the other side of that narrative, and that's why you went out and bought an Xbox One X. That's why I did it, because I want to play games that is highest fidelity on a console, and the X gave that to me. That's why I can validate my $500 purchase. Now, if you went out thinking that you were going to get something that Microsoft clearly wasn't even investing in themselves, that's a you problem, and that's the problem that I have with most people trying to like cherry pick the conversation on what other people should feel about why they bought systems.
Look, man, exclusives has always been why I buy a platform. I'll take it all the way back to Super Nintendo. I chose Super Nintendo over Genesis because they had Final Fantasy. Why did I go to PlayStation? Because they took Final Fantasy.
Let's be for real, Slumbo. Everybody went to PlayStation because it was new.
No, look, man. I was a big Nintendo fanboy back then.
Because of
and I had my N64 and I was playing all them wrestling games, No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000. I was all in on that, playing with my friends, but I bought that PlayStation for Final Fantasy 7.
Look, man, let's be for real here. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I disagree, and I don't disagree with you, but let's be for real here. We all had Sony PlayStations at one point. We also all had N60. Well, maybe not everybody has NESs and 64, depending on how old you are. But as long as you go back with your gaming history, you always had a certain system. You always had everybody probably had an Xbox at one point because it was the new hot thing. So people that had PlayStations went out and bought Xboxes. Same thing happened. Everybody had a PlayStation at one point. We all came from somewhere. We all had a Nintendo at one point. The reason people bought Xboxes wasn't because they wanted to have this great gaming experience, because it was just the hot new thing. That's
I disagree.
People bought Xboxes
think about the poll that
Halo.
No,
exactly. People bought Xbox because of Halo. Because before Halo, I could care less about Xbox.
Well, that's you. But think about the poll that I put up. Literally,
that was a lot of people. That was majority of
people. That shit was split 33% halfway down the list.
It's a poll on Twitter, man. With 300 people. Not even a drop in the bucket for the Atari Jaguar numbers. I mean, come on.
I'm just talking about in general, like in that small, like you said, it's a small sample size, but just that's like a small sample size about why people bought certain systems. I don't think people are not invested in Xbox like they are in PlayStation.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Why do all the Xbox people buy PlayStations? Give me the number one reason why.
Them exclusives.
Oh shit! What do you mean? Why all the Xbox?
Yeah, your argument is
You're talking about why all the Xbox people left?
No,
no.
they didn't
All
leave.
the Xbox
They
people
still
have
there.
an Xbox and a PlayStation.
But
Why are they also buy PlayStation?
Xbox. I can tell you why a lot of Xbox people left and went to PlayStation because
No, I'm
No,
not
that's
talking about
not
the
what he
people that
said.
left. I'm
What-
talking about the people who still got Xboxes, but they bought a PlayStation. What's the number one reason why?
exclusives, and you can if you were one of those people that can afford everything, but exclusives is the main reason.
Exactly, and that's all.
I don't disagree with that.
That's the driving force in
Yeah.
most people's buying decision when they're going to buy a console.
Nintendo, but okay, so
When the next generation starts, guess what's going to be the deciding factor for a lot of people? Both consoles can release within the week, just like they did this generation. What they're going to look at? The games.
Yep.
I agree.
PlayStation had no games at the beginning of the generation, right? Xbox had more games. That's why it was talked about way more at the beginning of the generation. Everybody was clowning Sony. The indie station.
They still outsold the Xbox at the beginning of the
That's only because it was in more territories. It was in more territories, and Xbox fumbled out of the gate because they had to take out all the Kinect stuff and all the stuff with the DRM. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, a less powerful system that was $100 more, and sold in less than half of the same countries as the PlayStation. It was almost Stadia level bad launch.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So
Hey guys,
when it comes to games, like all right, people bought the original Xbox for Halo. People bought 360 for Halo and Gears and all the other games that were exclusive to 360. I originally got my in 2014. I bought my Xbox One when they showed Sunset Overdrive.
Right.
That's when I said I was going to get an Xbox.
on cop.
Yep.
Sunset Overdrive.
hey, real quick, guys. I'm gonna go to the live chat real quick. Dominican Rocker says, and this is kind of this you guys. I'm sure we see this. We see this floating around a lot on the Twitters. So why aren't PS4 exclusives selling 60 million plus copies?
Because it's
Show me one game that's an exclusive that sells anywhere near that. Show me a game that's exclusive that sells 40 million.
Zelda.
No.
I mean, Zelda might be the exception.
What Halo?
Zelda almost has a
What Halo sold 80 million copies last generation? Tell me.
What I think the high Halo is like 15 million.
None.
But guys,
What
a
Gears
lot of
game
these,
sold 80 million copies last generation? None.
yeah, none. Yeah, what a lot of guys don't realize, and we I had Matt Piscatella I asked him about this, and about exclusives. I said, when people say, a AAA exclusives only sold 10% of the install base, he's like, based on like industry metrics, that's actually like if you sell 7% to 11% of a first party exclusive to your console base, that's considered a success by industry standards. Right. A lot of that has to do with because a lot of that has to do with the fact that not everyone likes the same game, and two, 90% of the console base is buying games like Madden. They're casual base, so they're buying Maddens, the 2Ks, the GTA 5s, the Call of Duties. Those are the games they're focused on. Everyone and the rest will tend to buy the Uncharted and anything else. So, so to Dominique's point, actually, the numbers do support our claim that those numbers that Sony's putting out in terms of first party exclusives, they're selling by industry standards. They're exceeding the KPIs or metrics that the industry uses to measure what determines whether or not a first party is successful. First party games have never, like you said, B-Money, there's never been a game that's 1-to-1 ratio. Unless maybe there were, I think for a little bit, the launch of the Switch and Zelda, I think Zelda was 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But that didn't last forever. Once the install base grew, it wasn't a 1-to-1 situation. So that's like I tell people all the time. Well, if you're telling me that Uncharted isn't a success because it sold 15 million copies to a 90 million base, well, I guess then The Witcher 3 is a dud because The Witcher 3 sold 20 million to an install base over 130 million. So I mean, it's just that's the thing that I think that's people don't. I think people have misconceptions about what constitutes successful first party. But without a doubt, I always said, and I said this in my last rant, and anytime you put out a new console, who are the first adapters of a new console?
Hardcore.
The hardcore. And just like politics, you gotta rally your base. Your base is the one that's gonna get excited, gonna go out and be the early adapters of your console. They're the ones that are gonna get the message out too.
Yep.
They're gonna be the
And
ones.
then their casual friends call them and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about picking up a new one. What's going on? What's popping?"
Yep.
And you start talking to them, and then guess what they do? They go get one.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why, if you look at what Sony's been talking about, it's all about rallying the base.
Mm-hmm.
They're going after AAA exclusives. They're going after big games. They're all about signing third-party deals.
Yep, marketing deals. Yep.
They don't care.
Yeah,
they're going out there to rally the base so that when the next generation starts, guess what? That base will be there.
And you know what? That's B, to your point, man. And they have already sold PlayStation 5s with games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, the new God of War, the reboot God of War. They've sold those games, have solidified PlayStation 5 sales already for a lot of people.
Right.
So you telling me that people aren't going to buy? When's the last time you bought a console to play Madden on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And again, no, the exclusive is not necessarily, always the driver, but it is something that gets people into the door and then they stay for everything else.
Yep.
All right.
It's the same reason every video service makes exclusives. They're trying to get your attention to their service over the competitions. And believe you me, I know people keep talking about how, Microsoft open, they're doing all the studio work or whatever the case may be. Why? Because first party engagement matters even for their Game Pass.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because people
end of the day, it still matters.
Game Pass or stay with Game Pass if they have nothing to look forward to.
Right.
They're going to think about, why am I being charged $10, $15 a month and I'm not even using this?
Yeah. Right. Because honestly, you look at something like, you look at Netflix, right? The movie selection, would that be worth your subscription, or is it worth it for their original content that you stay for everything else?
Exactly. Yeah. I know people who have been sticking around. I have a friend who signed up for Netflix strictly for the Marvel Netflix TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he stayed afterwards because he tried Stranger Things.
Right.
He tried some of the other original content. Some of the other original shows. This is why Netflix just throws money at anything. Any kind of producer or director comes to them with an idea. Here's some money, go do it. Because if it blows up, that's one more reason why their subscribers are going to continue to keep staying and paying that whatever $12-13 a month.
Like, guys, how many of us subscribe to Netflix to watch Thor Ragnarok? I mean, we don't.
No,
like you said, Slow-Mo, we
no, because you got 100 places you can see Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's my point. Like you subscribe because you want, Stranger Things. You want
House of Cards.
You wanted the Marvel game or the Marvel games.
You want the Witcher TV series.
The Witcher TV series.
Oh my God, can't wait.
Yeah. Why do we know everybody on this panel is going to subscribe to Disney Plus and we don't even know everything that's going to be in it?
Oh yeah,
facts.
Because
it's going to have their catalog.
We don't even know what fully is going to be in Disney Plus, but I can tell you everybody in this panel is going to subscribe to it.
I don't even know what's exactly.
I don't even know how much it's going to cost. I don't know anything. I just know
it'll be $8 a month.
Whatever it's going to cost, I know day one I will subscribe to it, and I don't even know what the full set of that damn shit is going to be. But I know what the potential is going to be, though.
Right.
Yeah. And it's because you can't get what Disney Plus is going to have anywhere else.
And what is that? That content gets you excited, gets you hyped.
Mandarin.
That's what you want, even in your game console.
Yeah.
Facts. Yep.
I agree.
And this is why Stadia is going to fail once again. Because
go.
what original content did they
Hey,
have?
hey, that's what I said when they first showed it, and I kept saying, "Yo, they ain't ready. Where's the games at? Where's the games at?" And everybody was giving me shit. Like, no, they ready. It's Google, man. They got money. They fine. They ain't got
Yeah,
no
but they
damn
didn't
games,
use that
man.
money wisely.
Right.
If I would have said Stadia had a chance to be successful if they would have went the route of like Epic Games, when Epic Games went into the PC storefront business,
Right.
by buying exclusives and making it exclusive to their platform for like a time limited time period, or going the Microsoft route and using all of that money to actually purchase developers to make exclusive content for you. Now you're showing one that you're serious about this and you're not going to quit on this out of nowhere, because you're invested. You spent millions upon millions of dollars to get these studios. What did they do? They went and signed Jade Raymond, who just left EA like 5 seconds earlier, to head up a new studio that she's the head of. So wait a minute, you telling me prior to Jade Raymond leaving, you didn't have a first party studio? Come on, that means you got no games.
That's right.
And you know what? Whatever Jay Raymond is making, God bless her, ain't never gonna come out.
Oh boy.
Because Stadia is going to be done before they can make that. They can finish that game. Minimum, a good game is going to need 3 years, right?
Be a third party platform, and they'll release it third party by that time.
Yeah.
They'll make
All right.
it somehow.
Yeah, guys. You need to wrap up the podcast because I gotta hit the sack, get to sleep.
Ready to go night, nigga?
Oh my god!
Wow, I don't know what to say about that.
Night, motherfucker.
It is time to wrap it up.
Yeah, it is time. Oh my god! Wow.
I
Wow.
don't know why that popped in my head.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know either. And then after you said that, for some reason I thought of. Never mind.
No, because after like my wife and I watched that Kevin Hart special like a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
So like I remember like she always goes to bed before me, so she'd be like, "All right, babe, good night." I'm like, "You ready to go night?" You know, like yelling at her.
All right, everyone. Hey, big shout out to everyone in the live chat, even the ones we debated with. Hey, we do appreciate your input and we appreciate you guys coming through.
Hey, before we, can I address one bad mother on one thing he said about Game Pass? Like I think what he's saying about Game Pass is true. That it is a great place for discovery. I don't, however, believe that it's way underrated, because I believe anybody who's in it is giving it the props. I think it's just going to take time.
Yeah.
For that word of mouth. And again, they have to infuse it with more content,
Marketing.
Exclusive, marketing. They got to get the marketing figured out, because I still don't think they get it out to the right people, but they still have to be compelling for people to want to go get involved with it. And I don't think they're compelling with it right now still, except for the people who like the hardcore base that's already into it.
Look, man, they was giving that shit away for $1 and they still couldn't market it right.
Oh, wow. All right. So on that note, no, seriously, guys, thank you everyone in the live chat. We really appreciate you guys coming through, and even the ones that we had disagreements with, we still really appreciate you guys coming through.
Yeah,
seriously, we do.
It ain't personal.
No, it's not personal.
Yo, Ryan, I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for that meme for Lord 5K here, or 5G.
Oh boy. All right. But yeah, guys, thank you everyone again, to my panel: B Money, Eric Jackson, Gaming Forte, Slow-Mo Backslap. Thank you, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. We'll be back next week, same time, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And everyone enjoy the week and have fun gaming. We have the new Wolfenstein game coming out, and then
which nobody's pushing.
Yeah, no one's pushing, so I'm gonna.
We are the only marketing for that game right now.
Yep.
Wow.
We
need that check cut, man.
Yeah,
exactly, man.
Yeah, we got Wolfenstein, we got Fire Emblem, and the Superstar Edition of Madden is downloadable on Xbox right now. So
that is true.
If you have it, go play it. If you have the PC version, you can play the whole game right now.
Yeah, and I just want to say, if you are a streamer, please don't feed your animals vodka while you're streaming. It's never a good thing.
Oh my gosh! Go throw your cat.
or throw
Yeah.
your cat. Yeah, just don't do that. Don't do that. So,
Yeah, just go sell bathwater.
Unless you like
Yes.
Peter that much.
yes, go sell bathwater. And actually,
Bathwater.
we do have an announcement. If I forgot, a big announcement this evening, guys.
Oh,
Big news: Slow-Mo Backslap's gonna be selling his own personal bathwater. So for $5.99.
Yeah, no, ain't nobody buying that. Oh boy.
All right, everyone, we're out. Have a good night. Peace.